The story would begin in the battle against the legendary Saiyan Broly, because despite the fact that both Saiyans used all their power was not necessary. That's right, the power possessed by the Saiyan Broly was amazing. So much so that even though he did not possess the divine ki, he was able to defeat both Saiyans, for which both had resorted to fusion. The battle that both Saiyans mentioned was incredible, although Gogeta on this occasion had totally the advantage. The Saiyan Broly did not let to release his power, so at the passage of a few moments, Gogeta would access the Super Saiyan Blue, with which he had taken the battle much more seriously, in which, from a great attack, he was about to end Broly's life. However, with the help of the Dragon Balls, Broly was teleported to his planet. The fusion of the powerful Gogeta was about to end, observing his entire paranormal.
That was fun. I'm still the beast tamer no matter who it is.
Instantly, the fusion would end, in which both warriors had returned to normal. But Goku was a little thoughtful about everything that had happened, so which would decide to break his limits once again, to which the Prince of the Saiyans would not be let behind, since the instant Vegeta would communicate telepathically with Whis.
Whis, please trade me. I can't believe that a Saiyan who doesn't possess a divine energy like us was able to defeat us, and must have resorted to fusion.
There will always be warriors of that type. And won't Mr. Goku train with us in the same way?
I don't know where that insect's gone, but I'm sure he's gone to a place to perform a training in the same way to break his limits.
Oh, this will be very interesting. Okay, let's start with the God of Destruction candidate training. Vegeta was surprised by the proposal that Whis had offered him.
It means that when Lord Beerus dies, I'll be the new God of the Destruction of the entire Universe 7.
Exactly, Mr. Vegeta. Since otherwise it is not possible for me to grant the training to the God of Destruction.
Lord Beerus has thousands of years left to live. It's okay, Whis. I accept the position of God of Destruction when Lord Beerus departs from this world.
In that case, it'll be better to leave to the planet of Beerus to start with the new training. Both had headed towards the planet of the god Beerus, while for his part Goku had resorted to the Room of Time, beginning to monitor each of his transformations from the most basic to the most powerful, to have total control over his internal energy.
Broly's power's been amazing, but I can't stay at this level. I have to be able to break all my limiters like Saiyan.
Goku, with his great determination, would begin to focus much more on each of his workouts. However, as time passed, Goku had been able to access the Ultra Instinct on request. However, his combative power had not increased in a way that the Saiyan would like, since the Ultra Instinct was a state which made him completely intangible, but did not grant a growth of energy.
Hell, I've been able to master the Ultra Instinct, but I'm not able to reach a new level. If an extremely more powerful being appears, I'm sure he'd be able to defeat me, since his power would be more destructive.
But without even Goku noticing, a powerful entity was watching the exhausted training that the Saiyan was carrying out. But as we get a little closer, we're able to notice how this existence maintained an incredible size, while a fur covered his entire body. That's right, it was a beast. But not just any beast, this was the legendary sacred Ozaru.
I finally found a worthy warrior who is capable of being my successor, who will keep all my power at its maximum splendor. I don't have time anymore, and apparently that Saiyan keeps a pure heart.
While Goku was training, a surprising pressure would become present at the Time Room, which had left him surprised. But despite being transformed into the Ultra Instinct, that pressure that had been able to completely bend him, being able to make Goku not being able to move any of his muscles. That pressure being so devastating had even made him fall to the floor, and even at the Time Room would begin to change its appearance, starting to destroy half of all of the over the place. Volcanoes, as well as stars, were created and at the same time destroyed by that beastly power.
What the hell? Who's all this power? I knew that the Ultra Instinct would be effective with warriors of similar powers to mine, but with a warrior that's completely overshadows me, I won't be able to even move like I am now.
All over the place, some extremely giant footsteps could be heard, while a large silhouette could be observed all over the place. That silhouette left Goku surprised.
If you're an Ozaru, although your size is thousands of times bigger than an ordinary Ozaru, I don't feel evil or bad intentions in you.
You will be the next legendary sacred Ozaru. As your heart's being pure, you are worthy that I trust you with all my power.
What? I don't understand anything.
I'll be part of your power since millions of years have passed, and I've been able to search for the warrior who is worthy. And you'll be the warrior to bring glory to this multiverse. Great, the useless Zeno-sama. He and I were also great friends.
Without Goku being able to say anything, an incredible power began to enter his entire body, at which, the moment loud screams of Goku would resound throughout the room of time, since the power that Goku was releasing was of an extremely incredible scale, so much so that he had formed multiple dimensional cracks. However, his power seemed to have no limits since it continued to constantly increase.
Hell, I haven't understood almost anything, but I have to be able to close all these dimensional cracks or even destroy the Earth.
Goku, concentrating to the maximum, was able to decrease his power a little, but it was getting too much, since too much blood was coming out all over the place, since the power that the sacred Ozaru had granted him seemed to be unlimited. After a few weeks, Goku would fall to the ground, not being able to withstand all the power of that beast. For his part on the planet of Beerus, the training of the Prince of the Saiyan had begun, in which they mainly concentrated in the same way on the control of their internal energy, so that he was able to simulate the power of destruction throughout his body. When he is still able to control his internal energy 100%, we will start with his new training, which will be the control of the destructive energy, also known as the energy of the gods of destruction. Vegeta was still in a meditation pose, while his entire internal system kept his power stable. Although this training seems to be the easiest, it really was the most difficult training that the Prince of the Saiyans was carrying out, since it was not a physical training. On the contrary, it was even a mental training, to which he had never undergone. Returning to the time room, it had already been 3 years, which in the outside would have been equivalent to 3 days. Goku was able to wake up, but his whole body was extremely heavy, because the power of that beast had not been controlled at all.
My body, it hurts completely. Even my fingers hurt. What the hell happened? Am I the legendary sacred Ozaru now? I don't even know what that is.
Goku would try to stand up in his base state, since his body seemed to weigh tons. So while trying to transform, he had the risk of exploding from all the excess energy.
I have to control all this power, first in my base state. I don't know what the hell has happened, or if this is a divine force, but I appreciate this power. I don't feel good accepting powers from third parties, but I'll use this great power to protect all my friends.
Goku in his base state would start with his great training, while only focused on the control of his new power. Meanwhile, in a place far, far away from all the 12 universes, a warrior from the form of a skeleton would stand.
So the damn Orochi was able to find a real carrier. That damn good-for-nothing monkey. I don't care who your carrier is. I will eradicate it. And this time I'll keep your power whether you want it or not.
Mesvel, which was the name of this powerful warrior, would start walking all over his castle. But with every one of his steps outside, thousands of catastrophes would happen. So a warrior would arrive in front of the Mesvel.
Oh my lord, what's the matter? I can tell he's in a terrible mood, but I'm sure this is all due to something specific. I don't want to talk to anyone right now, so you'd better get the hell out of my sight.
The warrior would leave, as otherwise his life might be in danger.
I swear that I'll find you, and I will end your damn hope of eliminating evil completely. That is impossible since I'm the embodiment of evil, and ending my existence is impossible.
Returning to the room of time, this training of Goku was costing him too much, since it had already been about 3 more years, and Goku hadn't been able to master even 25% of all that power.
This is really bad. But how much did that Ozaru have? Was he looking for a successor or carrier? I don't understand, but I'm sure a very powerful warrior of the same form must be waiting for me somewhere in the 12 universes.
For his part in the Kingdom of the Whole, Zeno-sama was extremely bored, so he would request the presence of Daishinken.
Tell me, Lord, what is offered to you? Anything I can help you with?
Daishinken, I'm really bored. Bring my friend Goku, please.
It's okay, Zeno-sama. Right now, I'll communicate with Mr. Goku.
Daishinken, with his great mental power, would try to communicate with Son Goku, but it would be impossible for him, because he was nowhere in the 12 universes. So Daishinken, a little bewildered, would go to planet Earth. The instant he arrived, the god of the Earth was surprised to realize that such an existence was in front of him.
Pepe, But if this is Daishinkan-sama, the father of all angels and guardian of the mighty Zeno-sama. I don't know how you know my identity, although I assume Mr. Goku must have told you about my existence. Tell me, Mr. Powerful Daishinkan-sama, how can we help you? I am in search of the warrior's son Goku, because the great Zeno-sama has requested his presence. Of course, Mr. Goku is currently training in the time room. Please allow me to take him to where he is. I would really appreciate it.
Both would arrive towards the entrance of the time room, for which Dende would leave. Instantly, the great priest would enter that dimension, but I was surprised since entering had felt the air pressure had completely changed. That's right, the pressure would even force the great priest to expel 35% of all his power, so that he wasn't affected by that great pressure.
What is this? What's happening here? It is not more than 4 months that the Tournament of Power was held, and Son Goku's power could not grow in this unreal way.
Daishinkan, when observing Son Goku, was surprised since it seemed that he had chosen the imperfect Ultra Instinct as his base state, but the energy that his body released was extremely incredible. Daishinkan, being trained to protect the powerful Zeno-sama, was able to withstand that great pressure, but it was surprising that a simple mortal releases all that power. Daishinkan would get to where he found Son Goku.
Oh, I'm sorry, Daishinkan-sama. I hadn't noticed your presence. Tell me, has something happened?
He has left me amazed by the power he's been able to achieve in that short period of time. But I'm here because the great Zeno-sama has requested your presence.
Oh, I understand. I'm just training now. But can you inform him that in one day I'll go to the Kingdom of the Whole, please?
I understand, Mr. Goku. I'll inform you.
Daishinkan would leave, so Goku would, with a look of determination and enthusiasm, would say the same.
On the remaining day of training, I have to be able to master even 50% of all this power. I want to surprise my friend Zeno, and I also want to have a battle with the Great Priest.
So Goku would continue with his training, but while training in all his aura, a great beast would form. The last day of Son Goku's training had ended, of which Goku had left the room of time with a totally different appearance, since his hair had completely changed, seeming to have had a transformation, and although his pressure was amazing, at the same time his essence was warm, which had surprised the deities who were in the temple.
I'm very grateful that I had been allowed to use the time of room. At this moment, I'll leave for the Kingdom of the All, because Zeno-sama's requested my presence.
Goku, with his teleportation, was able to reach the Kingdom of the Whole in a matter of seconds, so he had been greeted by Daishinkan, which his amazement was much greater.
What's happening? I can't believe the power that Son Goku's able to get in a single day, because until yesterday his power was completely different from now.
Hey Daishinkan, just like I said, I'm already here.
Okay, Mr. Goku, please, this way.
Daishinkan along with Goku would arrive to where Zeno-sama was, who at the moment had rushed against him.
I missed you too, little Zen, but what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? I'm really bored. I want to play with you. What do you think? How about if you watch a battle between the High Priest and Mia?
Daishinkan, as well as his guardians, were very surprised.
Yes, my best friend. Am I guardian fighting? I want to see such a battle.
My lord, a battle of that caliber is not recommended, because the power of that high priest is far superior to the power of his friend. It could even end his life.
Don't worry, little Zen. I'm sure you'll get a big surprise. Trust me.
Mr. Goku, I'm aware that you've been able to get such a great power in this time, but unlike Mia, you have no chance, since I have a greater experience that surpasses you by millions of years.
I also want to measure myself with one of the 5 most powerful warriors of all the 12 universes.
By that confidence you have in yourself, I imagine you must possess an incredible power. So it's okay. I accept your challenge.
And the platform would be created by Daishinkan quickly, at which, at the moment, both opponents would descend towards the platform.
I hope you don't get complacent, Mr. Goku, as my attacks are lethal.
The same I would say, Daishinkan. I hope you don't trust yourself just because you're immortal.
Both instantly released their power, with which, this time, they caused hundreds of catastrophes throughout the 12 universes. Zeno-sama, realizing everything that was happening, would reinforce each of the barriers that had been put on the platform.
This battle looks like it'll be one of the most fun.
At the moment, both warriors began to exchange thousands of blows all over the place. That's right, both seemed to be very evenly matched, because in none of them the advantage could be observed. Daishinkan, being a few centimeters from being able to connect a blow on Goku's face, was like a flash, was able to position himself to one side of it. With the double fist, he was able to send him to a different place to the platform, so the battle of both would expand throughout the Kingdom of the Whole. Daishinkan, by impact with the ground, he had created a great devastation all over the place, as the power with which he had been impacted was of another level.
That hurt, dang it. Where was he able to get so much power from? But the most amazing thing is how his speed exploded in a few seconds.
Wow, that was amazing! I can't believe the power my friend Goku possesses.
Has Daishinkan been trusted? I can't believe a mere mortal was able to bestow such a powerful blow. Daishinkan would immediately release a little more of all his power, so at the moment, a great aura would rise all over the place, as well as a surprising pressure he'd been able to cause several cuts on Son Goku's body.
Wow, I can tell you have an amazing power. I even think that I'll have to raise my level a little more.
Do you have any more hidden power? I don't know how the hell you've been able to get all that power, but it's a strange thing. Right now, I'll defeat you.
Without Daishinkan being able to release all his power, Daishinkan had connected a powerful blow to him that is almost capable of knocking him out of combat. So he had sent him to part of the Kingdom of the Whole, being dragged due to the power.
I know that you also possess great stamina, so I'm sure you'll be able to withstand this Galactic Atomizer.
It seemed superficially a single attack, however they were really multiple attacks in one. So at the moment that Goku would be hit, hundreds of explosions began to affect him. However, when Daishinkan approached, he was surprised because Goku, instead of becoming unconscious as Daishinkan had planned, it could be observed how his appearance began to change as all his power began to grow in an overwhelming way. That's right, Goku was accessing a state similar to the legendary Ozaru, with which his body was not able to withstand much more energy.
What are you, Son Goku? No being of either divine energy or mortal energy should have such a growth of energy.
I can't believe the power that he's releasing, the power of that Saiyan. He really is able to defeat Daishinkan. Goku was able to begin to have an incredible transformation, in which this time his whole body began to look with a big fur. So the imposing attack that Daishinkan had thrown at him would be absolutely nothing against the power that Goku was releasing. At the moment of a powerful roar would cause thousands of destruction all around. Even the simple sonic slingshot had sent Daishinkan flying hundreds of meters, crashing down to part of their place. Both Guardians used large part of their power to create a barrier and protect the king from the whole. For this part, returning to the battle of the planet of Cerberus, in the Prince of the Saiyans, he had been able to master all his internal energy. So his power had grown in an incredible way. However, he was still not able to access his destructive energy. The power that you've been able to obtain in this time is incredible. It fills me with pride, Mr. Vegeta. But from this moment, the training really begins.
I'm ready for the training you want to grant me, Whis.
We'll start for training about for a month. Your physical abilities so that your body is able to withstand this state beyond a god.
That's what I wanted to hear, Whis. Let's start.
Vegeta would start training with Whis, which every day he tried to hit him. However, it was impossible for the Prince of the Saiyans. Returning to the Kingdom of the Whole, from a small explosion, Goku could be seen with a new imposing appearance all over the place. Well, at the moment, everyone present was surprised of all the power that Goku was able to release.
How was he able to destroy my attack?
I would understand if he had dodged it for destroying him with her simple aura. This is a joke.
You made me use a lot more power than I planned to, so Daishinkan. I know that you also had a lot more power. Use it all, because I'm sure that in your current state, you won't be able to do anything against me.
Don't underestimate me. With the power I'm using, it's necessary to beat you.
I warned you. I'll grant you a small blow so that you're able to realize the true power that I possess.
Daishinkan would be on guard, but despite being prepared to receive Goku's blow, he wasn't able to do anything, since Goku, with a speed that even broke the sound barrier, was able to connect a slight blow in Daishinkan's stomach. Although for Goku, it had seemed slight, Daishinkan would fall to the ground vomiting large amounts of blood all over the place. What? How was he able to hit him? I wasn't able to see anything.
My friend's power is really amazing. I think only I'm capable of facing him. Although for that, I will have to access my combat state.
Damn,
That hit hurt me too much. How was he able to hit me with such power?
I'd warned you, so you better use all your power right now, or with the next blow I'll end this battle.
In a very distant place, in the castle of Mesvel, this one with a crystal sphere, he was observing the entire combat.
So that guy has the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru. He's a mere mortal. This will be much easier than planned. My lord, how are you feeling right now? Is there anything I can help you with? Not Susano, but in the next century I will finally get all the power of the sacred Ozaru, since its current bearer is a mere mortal. But my lord, with the respect you deserve, if that damn ape chose that mortal as his successor, it must be because his power is of another level. No, Susano, no matter how much talent he has, he is not able to compare with the power of a god, much less with the power of us, who possesses heavenly energy. I understand, my lord, but if it will be better for to investigate the warrior who possesses such power.
Returned to the battlefield, Daishinkan would begin to release all his power. That's right, he would not hide any of his power in this battle. Hundreds of rumbles could be perceived through the 12 universes, since being an angelic energy, all his children were able to feel the power that their father was releasing.
What has happened? Oh, why has our father released all this power?
But in the same way, in a very distant part of the whole place, Mikoshin, the mother of Daishinkan, when one of the first existences to possess celestial energy, in the same way would realize how her only son had released 100% of all his power.
Wow, so what's going on in the Zeno-multiverse? For Daishinkan to unleash his full power, the warrior must be facing is terrifying.
Mikoshin, with a great dimensional power, would begin to move between dimensions, until reaching the battlefield, without being perceived by any of the warriors, realizing himself as the king of the whole, just as his guardians were watching the battle.
Wow, apparently it's a friendly battle, but since I'm here, I want to observe the result of this great battle.
Daishinkan had finished releasing all his power, so at the moment he would begin to approach Goku.
You are the first mortal to make me use all my power, so I hope you're prepared.
It'll be an honor for me to measure myself in an even battle with the great priest.
Instantly, both, as if were flashes, would begin to cover thousands of blows all over the place. But their blows this time were capable of ending half the universe. Daishinkan at the moment was able to grant me a big blow, which had sent Goku flying, but at the moment of falling to the ground would create a big explosion. Rocks, which seemed indestructible, had become simple sand.
That has 100% of all my power. Apparently you haven't been able to assimilate that much power.
But Daishinkan, before he was able to do anything, he would fall out of combat because Goku, like a flash, was able to grant him in the same way his last blow. In the stomach, but the power had gained so much that he would knock him out of combat. Although Goku would fall out of combat due to the excessive use of his power.
Wow, I can't believe that inside that mortal, the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru sleeps. So for that reason, he possesses all that power.
The Guardians, being about to fix each of the damage, Mikoshin would appear in the middle of the battlefield, managing to leave everything intact. But Zeno-sama, like the Guardians, were surprised to observe an existence as powerful as Mikoshin was.
But if you are Mikoshin-sama, tell us, what can we do for you?
I was just passing through with the multiverse and wanted to know whose these powers belong to.
Mikoshin, without saying more words, would disappear from the whole place. Meanwhile, in the castle of Mesvel, this warrior would choose to change his body to a much younger one, because the words of his servant had made him reflect.
It'll be better to adapt a much younger body, because in the worst case, that war could be a real headache.
Mesvel would begin to change his body to that of a simple child, although his power had grown in an incredible way by compressing it to a much smaller body. The powerful warrior named Mesvel, choosing to have a much younger body, had decided a body of a warrior, although on this occasion, at the moment, of a large crystal had caused a small explosion in the entire castle there were, so his subject would quickly enter into the bedroom of his lord, noticing a small child.
I don't know who the hell you are, but I will end your life by entering the territory of a being of celestial energy.
Susanoo would wield a great sword, so at the moment with the celestial technique, he was able to make the sword grow hundreds of times. So he was starting to approach towards Mesvel.
Hehe, apparently he has not been able to recognize me, but this is perfect to test my new body and to be able.
Mesvel, who knew that his subject was not weak at all, would concentrate a lot of energy to be able to stop the sword. But to his surprise, he was only able to stop the sword with only 2 fingers, which left both surprised.
What? How is he able to stop my sword with only 2 fingers?
This is amazing. My destructive power surpasses Susanoo by tens of times. But every time I use this technique, I had to use a large part of my power on my whole arm.
Susanoo at the moment had launched himself against Mesvel, beginning to give him a beating. Or that was what could be observed with the naked eye, since all the blows that Mesvel received had absolutely no damage to him. Susanoo instantly would summon a giant of negative energy, with which he would grant him a powerful blow, which had made him fall to the bottom of the planet, creating great chaos all over the place.
I don't know who the fuck you are, but he gets one of my most powerful attacks.
Susanoo would throw a gigantic sphere of energy at Mesvel, who on this occasion would put himself on guard. With a single blow was able to return such an incredible attack.
Hehehe, I love this body, and the only thing his physique is that he's of a simple human, but the condensed power is amazing.
No, damn. The only one who would be able to do something against you would be my king.
Susanoo, I am your king, so don't worry. I took seriously the recommendation you gave me about that Saiyan, so I decided to adopt a much more powerful body.
Wow, but that body, although it looks like that of a simple child, the power he possesses is incredible. He even surpasses his previous body.
I agree with you, but I also know that I can get a lot more potential out of it, and I will keep all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Returning to the Kingdom of the Hold, Goku and Daishinkan had been sent to different rooms so that they're able to fully recover.
The power they both unleashed is amazing, but what amazes me the most is that even the powerful Mikoshi-sama has taken an interest in the battle.
My lord, apparently Mr. Goku is about to wake up.
Hehe, what a good joke. That's impossible. Since it's only been 45 minutes since they finished their match, he could have recovered in that short period of time.
But at the moment, Zeno-sama was surprised to realize how Goku was standing in his state of perfect Ultra Instinct.
Hehehe, the power of Daishinkan's amazing, even for me. Apparently we have been in a draw. Hehe, next time I'll be able to beat him completely.
Goku, how have you been able to recover in this short period of time?
The damage wasn't serious as it seemed, and with the help of you and your guardians, I was able to speed up my recovery.
Thank you, little Zen. Goku, keep training, because the next fight you'll have will be against me in my combat state. Hehehe.
Wow, I didn't know that you possessed a combat state, but of course, I'll be looking forward to the day that I'll be able to fight with you, little Zen.
Goku would immediately leave again, but this time he would leave for an inhospitable planet of his entire Universe 7, with the intention of controlling his internal energy much more, or rather the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
A battle that is that difficult was needed to be able to get a little more power, since I have been able to master it to 60% of its full capacity.
Meanwhile, returned to the planet of Beerus, the physical training of the Prince of the Saiyans had finally come to an end, in which on this occasion, Beerus would grant him a little of his destructive energy, with which he should be able to master it.
The energy I've granted you is enough for you to master it. When you're able to access the God state of destruction, you must control that power.
Exactly. As Mr. Beerus has said, when you have been able to choose a destructive state, you should meditate again, because the destructive energy can destroy your enemy, but if you do not control it 100%, it can even destroy yourself.
I'm sure that I'm able to master that energy, because for the Prince of the Saiyans, there is no limit.
Beerus would grant the necessary energy to the Prince of the Saiyans. His body as well as his aura had completely changed, because this time all his power was much more destructive like his aura. The Prince of the Saiyans, of a powerful liberation, and all his power, was able to access the state of a god of destruction. But being a Saiyan, I would call that transformation as the state of Ultra Ego. It's amazing how Mr. Vegeta has been able to achieve it in this short period of time. It amazes me. I agree with you, Whis. I'm sure that the next time in which Goku and Vegeta face each other, Goku won't stand a chance against Vegeta.
This power is amazing. I feel like I could defeat any warrior.
Don't let yourself be carried away and influenced by power, as you must be able to control it 100%, because the energy drain in such a state's overwhelming. Mr. Vegeta, at this time we start with the mental and spiritual training again, but this time so that you'll be able to control all that power of the god of state of destruction.
Alright, Whis. Although I already want to start with physical training, I'll try my new powers.
All the take is easy, Mr. Vegeta. All you have to do is have a good foundation in controlling your energy, or irreparable damage may incur in your energy system. Vegeta in his new state would begin to master all his power completely, while being watched by Whis and Beerus.
Hey, Whis, how long do you think it'll take him to master his power 100%?
I have no idea, Mr. Beerus, although, with the pace you are going in the past training, I think it shouldn't take you more than 2 months.
I think it's very little time, since even I take years to be able to enter the Master of the God of Destruction state.
But there is a big difference between you and Mr. Vegeta, because for his part, he wants to become much more powerful, unlike you.
Whis, that's not a joke, only that I've been a prodigy. I don't see the point of training, if even without training I'm the most powerful God of Destruction.
Lord Beerus, do not be confident, because in every universe you will always be able to appear much more powerful than warriors who can overcome your power with incredible ease.
Don't be stupid, Whis. That's impossible. Since the most powerful authority of each universe is its god, it must be the most powerful warrior to be able to put order.
I hope I'm wrong, Mr. Vegeta, but that only time will be able to tell. For his part, on the planet that Goku was on, he was also able to top the mountain in a meditation pose because he wanted to control 100% of all the power of the sacred legendary Ozaru. He had to control his energy flow in the same way at the highest level.
I never thought that meditation would be more difficult than physical training. I feel like I'm not making the slightest progress.
But Goku, at the moment of releasing his power, or rather, what he had controlled on this occasion, at the moment of releasing it, an incredible Ozaru could be observed through Universe 7. Because its size was colossal, such Ozaru, it could be observed from the planet of Beerus.
What's that? I also feel an incredible pressure. Is that about that beast? Even my body feels an incredible terror.
I don't know, Mr. Beerus, but apparently that's the observation of trainings the Saiyans used to use when observing the full moon. Vegeta, who was also meditating, felt his whole body tremble because of such incredible power on the part of the Ozaru. So the moment Vegeta opened his eyes, he was surprised to observe such an incredible Ozaru.
What is this surprise to be? The size of an Ozaru can't reach such scales. Even if I feel it, it's releasing an amazing pressure.
Vegeta, we don't know if that power is about a new ally or a new enemy, so we ask if you could come with us.
Of course, Whis. I'll go. Because that Ozaru just gives me more to understand something. A Saiyan has so much power to transform to such size.
The three warriors left quickly to where the energy center of that Ozaru was located. For his part, even Goku had been surprised of the incredible power that his own body gave off. So at the moment, in his mind, the sacred Ozaru would communicate with Goku.
That is the representation of my spirit form. So you, being the new sacred Ozaru, can transform like that. As long as you see the largest moon of the 12 universes, also known as the Mega Moon, or invoke my spirit form.
Oh, I understand. I appreciate it very much, and I promise that I'll be the warrior to whom you have many expectations. I'll protect this entire multiverse.
Oh, I know you will. Since your courage is capable of even giving your life to other warriors, with the power you possess now, I know you'll go even further than I once could.
After a few minutes, the deities along with Vegeta had arrived on that planet, in which the Ozaru had already disappeared. But everyone was surprised to find Goku meditating, while his aura remained calm and likewise released a pressure that would intimidate any warrior. Mr. Goku, was the Ozaru that could be seen a few moments ago a part of your power?
So long without seeing them. And you're right, Whis. I don't control my power 100%, so I released a new technique that I've been perfecting.
Don't say stupid things, Insect. You haven't had the divine training. You can't have a power greater than mine.
How about we have a little combat like the old days?
I can't feel Son Goku's power in full, but I'm sure Vegeta can't lose against Son Goku, since Vegeta's under the teachings of an angel. That's been able to master part of his destructive energy. We can't be so sure of that, since the power of Mr. Goku has left me surprised, because he is even able to make my body shudder. Vegeta would begin to access the Ultra Ego, since his body asked him to release all his power, so even the Prince of the Saiyans would release a power beyond the body his own body supported. However, very close to the warriors, Mesvel would be watching everything that happened, being prepared to attack Goku at the right time.
Wow, Vegeta, I can tell you have an amazing power, but don't be able to do anything against me.
Goku would only remain in the perfect Ultra Instinct, with which, at the moment, both began to exchange thousands of blows. And as surprising as it may seem, Vegeta was not able to connect a single one of his blows, while Goku, on the other hand, had been able to connect sneakily blows on Vegeta's body. But at the moment, Goku, having his senses much more developed, was able to perceive the essence of Mesvel. So Goku, with a powerful blow, had sent Vegeta flying to the side of Beerus and Whis, and at the moment, would create a barrier over the three warriors.
What's going on, Mr. Goku? Why haven't you left at the barrier?
But Whis was surprised to not be able to see any warrior, only to observe how Goku had been sent to fly thousands of kilometers, causing great disasters all around.
Heh, so you were able to notice my presence. That seems amazing to me, but it won't be enough to face me.
However, all the power that Goku had been able to master was beginning to be released, beginning to access that mythical transformation that he had used against Daishinken. But unlike before, the power he released on this occasion was overwhelming. So much so that the deities were surprised to realize the new transformation of the Saiyan. The incredible power of Goku would be present for each of the 12 universes, even being so much that it had been perceived up to the Kingdom of the Whole, which would even attract the attention of the great figures of that place.
Goku is releasing all that power. How's it possible that someone forces him to use all his power? It's even much bigger than the power I used against Daishinken.
My lord, as far as we've been able to investigate, of warriors also very close to Lord Goku, but we're not able to measure his power.
Zeno-sama, with a great mental ability, was able to move through each of the 12 universes, being able to observe the subject.
And who the hell is that warrior? I've never seen him before, but it leaves me amazed that he's not affected by the incredible pressure that Goku's entire body releases.
For his part, Goku at the moment had expelled his power to the limit that his body could withstand. So instantly, Goku, as if it were a flash, would grant him a powerful blow, causing a great disaster due to the power. However, Mesvel was able to stop Goku's blow with only one of his hands, which surprised everyone present. Now I understand why Mr. Goku has locked us in a barrier, but I'm not able to understand the power that his enemy possesses. It is a gigantic power.
Hey, Whis, this must be a nightmare. A warrior can't possess such a great power.
I agree with you, Mr. Beerus. I don't know how Mr. Goku's been able to get all of this power in this short period of time, but to the warrior he's facing, even we angels wouldn't be able to do something to him. Again, they observed how Goku had been sent to fly thousands of kilometers all over Universe 7. So at the moment, Mesvel would also move at a flashing speed, which at the moment, he was able to give him a beating. The difference in powers was so much that this time Goku was not even able to defend himself, while Goku received the beating of his life. He would say to himself,
"This is the power that I'm able to withstand, but I think I have to push my body to the limit, because otherwise this damn dwarf is gonna kill me."
Mesvel would instantly hold Goku by one of his legs, starting to whip his body against all the planets that were around him, causing him abysmal damage, because this time his body as well as his internal system were being affected in an incomparable way. Even his energy veins seemed like they were going to explode.
Ha ha ha! What happened? I thought the bearer of the legendary sacred Ozaru would be much more powerful, but you're just another piece of trash. You deserve death.
Ah, that hurt too much, but right now I'll get over all my limits.
Goku would hardly begin to stand up, while his usual internal system would begin to transport even 100 times more energy than usual. Instantly, an incredible roar would be heard by each of the 12 universes. While his body began to wear a plated colored fur, just as his hair changed to the same color, and that was not all, because his power likewise began to increase thousands of times, which, on this occasion, even the King of the Hole felt like pressure was able to end his life. Meanwhile, Mesvel, he wouldn't move any of his fingers.
Don't worry, I want you to release all your power, because no matter what you do, this universe will be your grave, and I will keep all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Goku would say absolutely nothing. They were just focusing on releasing all his power, and that his body would not explode in the process. But in Goku's mind, he was able to observe the legendary sacred Ozaru while pointing at a large door.
Master, you don't have to worry, I'll be your shield, and I'll not let you die against this curse of Mesvel. If you die in this battle, it'll for me be an honor to fight by your side.
In that case, I won't hold back. I plan to use all the power of the sacred Ozaru. I know that your hard skin will be my shield, since your resistance is much greater than mine.
I'm counting on that, Master. And in case you need more power, you can access this door, because it contains the power of the supermoon of the 12 universes, which will give us a gigantic power for only 12 minutes. But then we have a 90% chance of dying. But it will be an honor if we both go to the other world with Mesvel.
Goku, without fear that his body would explode on this occasion, would begin to release much more power. Even his muscles began to grow exponentially, while each of his energy veins seemed to explode due to the excess power they were transporting. At the moment, a big explosion that was able to be observed from all 12 universes would be present. While Goku's form had changed drastically, at this moment, even his body looked like that of a beast to be a silver.
I'm ready. This is all the power of the legendary sacred Ozaru.
Wow, it seems amazing to me. But you'll need much more than that to be able to cope with me. I'm not any insect that you've defeated before.
Goku would move at a great speed, which Mesvel would not be left behind, both immediately beginning to exchange millions of blows for each of the 12 universes. Even the king at all was not able to do anything, just stay as a spectator, because the level of this battle even exceeded his expectations.
This is amazing! I never thought that Goku's power would go this far. This time he has been able to overcome my combat state. Goku can easily defeat me.
My lord, you, as the king of the all, should protect each of the 12 universes. If necessary, we will join you to access 100% of all your power.
You're right. I, as the king of everything, I have to keep order in this multiverse.
Zeno-sama would begin to access his combat state, with the help of the Guardians to be able to release much more power, because hundreds of planets for each of the 12 universes were beginning to be destroyed. And with this, the lives of thousands of inhabitants, Zeno-sama would instantly be able to access his combat state, with which, without wasting time, he would move to the center of the 12 universes, in which he began to channel a large part of all his power, with the intention of placing barriers in each universe and planets. Meanwhile, returned to the Kingdom of the All, Daishinkan finally would have woken up after his great battle against Goku. But he was surprised, being dragged to the ground by a surprising pressure which even did not let him breathe normally.
What the hell's going on? I can't believe all this power is being released in Universe 7. Maybe a new enemy has appeared?
Daishinkan at the moment would also expel a large part of all his power, being able to feel the essence of the powerful Zeno-sama. So at the moment, he would quickly reach the side of his king, being surprised, as the king of all is channeling all his power in order to protect each of the 12 universes.
My lord, an apology, but what is happening? Who are the beings that are causing such devastation in the 12 universes?
Zeno-sama, being channeling his power, he could not explain what happened to Daishinkan. So at the moment, he would transmit everything that happened. Thanks to an incredible mental power, Daishinkan was surprised in the same way he would begin to channel his power to protect each of the 12 universes.
My lord, if we do it together, it'll be much easier, and we must trust in Mr. Goku. He will be the savior of this timeline.
Returning to the battlefield, both warriors at this moment seemed very equal, since the blows that both were awarded were very similar, as well as the power. However, Goku's power, while the battle was going on, would begin to plummet, while Mesvel had only used 66 of all his power. So he was very confident. Instantly, Mesvel would increase his power to 80%, being able to deal with an impressive blow, destroying the planet on which Goku would be thrown.
I realize that you possess a great power, but that'll not be enough for you to be able to do something against me. You're still a simple worm.
Goku's body would expel large amounts of blood as he started crawling all over the place, due to his limbs having been completely destroyed.
Damn it. Us being the deities of the universe, we're not able to do anything. This irritates me.
But Mr. Beerus, we are not able to do anything since we don't even possess the necessary power to get out of this barrier.
No, Kakarot still has an ace up his sleeve. I know him. I know he won't give up so easily. We trust you, Insect.
Mesvel would immediately begin to approach, while he began to carry a small sphere of energy in the palm of his hand. But to his surprise, Goku's power on this occasion had completely changed, because his fur would disappear while celestial marks began to appear all over his body. Just as all his power created to be felt by the beings of Common Divide energy, that's right, Goku had accessed the door of the 12 Supreme Moons, or likewise known as the 12 Universal Moons, which gave him an unreal power to Sacred Ozaru. Goku, being its carrier, was able to benefit from all that power, which on this occasion would even cause a chill throughout Mesvel's body, because the energy he released was in the same power dimension. He was no longer inferior to Mesvel, which left him surprised.
Damn, I don't know where you're able to get so much power from, but it doesn't matter. Since your body is in pieces, you won't be able to master all that power.
Goku of a small explosion could be observed with a much more intimidating appearance, while his cold gaze watched Mesvel fixedly.
I don't care who the hell you are, nor because you want the power that has been granted to me, but by putting each of the 12 universes at risk, I intend to annihilate you.
Mesvel on this occasion, before being able to say anything, he was thrown towards some rocks with a superhuman power, which would even destroy several of his ribs in the process, which would cause Mesvel to vomit large amounts of blood all over the place.
Ugh. How was he able to hit me with that incredible speed? I was only able to see a flash, but I'm not able to notice when it hit me. I'll have to use 100% of all my power because this battle's taking much longer than planned.
Mesvel would instantly release 100% of all his power, with which he had similarly thrown himself against Goku. At the moment, both began with the final battle of the Divine Kingdom. The blows that both were granted at this moment were blows capable of destroying universes. Goku was immediately receive a powerful blow, being sent flying. But while Goku fell, he was able to summon a part of the body of the Sacred Ozaru, which with the powerful roar was able to also send him flying. Both would fall into terrible conditions, even his legs were shaking due to the excess energy.
Damn worm, it's a good choice to have chosen to have a new body, otherwise I would have died a long time ago. But this body has much more power.
Mesvel at the moment would release much more power than his body was able to withstand. The power, despite being surprising, had subtracted a large part of his speed, which Goku would take advantage of to grant him thousands of blows all over the body, being able to destroy several energy veins. Meanwhile, in the castle of Mesvel, Susanoo, who was watching everything that happened in the same way, had been very surprised.
I can't allow my king to be hurt like this. I have to do something because otherwise my king may lose his life.
This was how Susanoo at a great speed would begin to move throughout the infinite space, while Goku began to destroy every part of his resistance with the intention of causing a big explosion with which he would be able to end Mesvel's life once and for all.
Damn, I only have 2 minutes left of all this power. I have to make it.
Goku even activated his iconic technique, the Kaioken, increased 100 times. His power would explode. However, the time would be shortened to only 1 minute, in which Goku would use his powerful Dragon Punch, destroying almost all his energy veins. But at the moment, Goku at a great speed would move towards Mesvel.
If I die, it'll be an honor to end the life of one of the most powerful warriors I've ever faced, so there's nothing to lose.
Goku at the moment was able to channel all his energy, while in the same way, energy from all the 12 universes gathered in his body. Without warning, a gigantic explosion would begin to pulverize both warriors. On the other hand, the shield of the Sacred Ozaru was supporting the explosion, while Mesvel was beginning to perish immediately, but Susanoo would arrive, being able to save his life. Although this in the same way had ended with fatal wounds all over his body, Goku at the moment would fall to a planet, being aided by the divine beings, which after a while, they'd been made a statue in his name. Meanwhile, returned to the realm of the Mesvel, he was at rest for several months, in which he still did not wake up. But if he did, he had a clear goal: to finish with the bearer of the Sacred Ozaru completely. That battle had brought the end of a new era. But everything was very far from reality since after 5 years, all 12 universes had returned to normal.
My lord, apparently everything has returned to normal since 5 years have passed. Mesville's power has been completely lost.
It's true that Mesville's power has completely disappeared, but I don't know why I'm still feeling very intrigued. I feel like none of this is over.
Understand, sir. In the same way, I will inform all the gods and angels to remain on alert, in case any anomaly occurs.
Daishinkan would use his mental power, with which he was able to communicate with each of the angels to communicate to them the information of the great Zeno-sama.
Gods and angels, I want you to continue to be on alert, as something's not right in the 12 universes, as it seems we are still on high alert. As you command, Daishinkan-sama.
For his part, returning to planet Earth, Goku was at the sea training with Vegeta, because in this great battle, Goku had realized that if he wanted to become much more powerful, he also needs his companions to obtain great powers.
Your power's amazing, Vegeta, but you're not at my level yet.
That's obvious, Insect. The power I possess is completely mine. It's not like yours, that a legendary Ozaru has granted it to you.
Don't worry, Vegeta, as I have something special for you anyway, but we have to keep getting powerful.
Their battle would spread throughout the planet Earth without causing damage, so at the moment Goku with a powerful blow was able to send Vegeta flying, knocking him out of combat, creating a small explosion all around.
Phew! Luckily, we have moved far away from the city, otherwise hundreds of people have been affected by this chaos.
Goku would begin to approach where Vegeta had fallen, so he would realize that the Prince of the Saiyans was completely shocked.
I've had enough! No matter how hard I try, you always find a way to surpass me. But I promise I don't plan to stay behind you, Kakarot.
Apparently it's momentum, Vegeta. We better go to the time room, as we'll start with a great workout.
No, dim worm. At the moment, I have no mood to train with you anymore. I want to become much more powerful on my own.
Vegeta, please trust me, because at this moment, we both will be able to become much more powerful.
It's okay, damn insect, but if it's one of your stupid things, I'll leave.
Both warriors at a great speed had headed towards the time room. The instant they entered, Goku would expel a large part of his power because he had been able to combine all the power of the sacred Ozaru with his Ultra Instinct state. Due to this, a great light would rise all over the place, while an incredible pressure would fall on Vegeta's entire body.
What the hell is this insect? But I'm not planning to let you overshadow me.
Vegeta, despite the fact that his bones were destroyed, he would give it a little smile, expelling the power of the authentic god of destruction. That's right, and all this time Vegeta had been able to master the power of a god completely, with which he was able to repel Goku's incredible aura a little. Despite not repelling it completely, Vegeta was able to stand up with a little difficulty.
What is this Kakarot supposed to be? No matter what kind of training it is, your power is much greater than mine. I have to accept it.
This is not the Vegeta that I know, because the Vegeta that's my rival would never let me overcome him so easily. And you're right, this power is partially thanks to the Ozaru, but I'll not only be the Supreme Ozaru, because you're my partner, deserves to be too.
What? What the hell are you telling me? I don't understand what you're telling me.
Goku at that moment, with a quick movement, was able to give him a slight blow in his heart. But that blow was different, because instantly an incredible power would begin to travel through Vegeta's body, while his chest began to burn in an amazing way. Vegeta would instantly expel his power, managing to raise an incredible aura of purple fire. That's right, it was the color of a god of destruction of his destructive energy.
I'm sure Vegeta will be able to master the power of the Supreme Ozaru. For that reason, I've been reserving a part of that power.
Vegeta at the moment, an incredible scream would generate a huge explosion all over the place. But, to the surprise of even Goku, Vegeta had ascended to the state of a giant Ozaru, starting to destroy everything around him. Goku would try to reason with Vegeta, but it was impossible for him. So at the moment, Vegeta was about to destroy the door of Time Room. So Goku would stand in front of Vegeta, and with an incredible roar, he was capable of forming the incredible Supreme Ozaru.
I'm so sorry, but what's with all this floating power? Although I've transformed into an Ozaru, what is this all about?
I guess you have to control that state. Since I have the Supreme Ozaru in my body, I directly accessed the Super Saiyan Celestial Phase 4. Vegeta would begin to concentrate, so after a few days of training, his body would begin to shrink, all while his fur changed to the purple color. That's right, Vegeta was able to adapt to the new transformation in the state of a god of destruction. Instantly, a gigantic power would be perceived in the entire time room. Alright, the power you possess is amazing. Even if I've had a hard time being in front of you, it's Vegeta time. Let's start with the training.
Kakarot, I never thought I'd say this, but I appreciate it, and I'm ready for the new training.
Meanwhile, in a very distant place, thousands of years had passed because Susanoo, before being knocked out of combat, had been able to enter together with his Lord Mesfel one of the special rooms, in which time passed in a very different way. Thousands of years had passed in that dimension thanks to Mesfel being able to wake up, but his entire internal system was completely destroyed. Instantly, that Mesfel would stand up, vomit large amounts of blood.
Damn, I even returned to my original body. I can't believe that power that miserable mortal's been able to get, but that was all thanks to that fucking Ozaru.
Mesfel would walk through the dimension, which also had an identical castle, so at the moment he would notice the presence of Susanoo.
Susanoo, the most loyal warrior I've ever been able to have. I have to use all my ability to manage to heal all his wounds.
Mesfel, with all his power, was able to get the help from the underworld. That's right, because at that instant, the doors of the entire underworld opened, while chains began to wrap around Susanoo's entire body.
I, as one of the first existences of this entire multiverse, I offer you one of the 7 elemental staves, but it completely heals my subordinate. This will be a win-win deal for both of us. I'll be waiting for my elemental staff.
The power of the entire underworld was able to completely heal Susanoo, who had been able to recover his power completely, managing to wake up a little altered.
What happened? Where am I? But my lord, you've already woken up. But you should be taking a break. Susanoo, I thank you for having been my most faithful and loyal soldier. But I did not want to share with my fate, since I've only gotten into this war. No, my lord, we have not given up yet. At this moment, I, the mighty Susanoo, give you all my power and become part of you. Don't say stupid things, Susanoo. We don't have the required power to take down the damn Supreme Ozaru. I trust you, my lord. You are the ruler of the whole Dark Kingdom.
Susanoo would transform into a kind of dark energy, starting to enter Mesfel's body. That's right, his most loyal warrior was able to sacrifice himself and become part of his power. So at the moment, Mesfel was able to assimilate all that great power, managing to destroy all that dimension. But before the divine beings are able to perceive his power, he would be able to reduce it quickly.
On this occasion, I plan to end the entire divine kingdom, since I desire the power of the cursed one of the Ozaru. I just want everyone to die by my hands.
Mesfel in all this time was able to once again opt the transformation of a child, so his power would have incredible increase in power, starting in the same way to channel all his power in his heart. That's right, Mesfel had planned to sacrifice himself to end the entire reign of Zeno-sama. On the other hand, returning to the Room of Time, both Saiyans were fighting, which had a very equal battle. However, at that moment, the Supreme Ozaru was able to communicate with Goku.
My lord, apparently Mesfel's still alive. His power has grown in an incredible way. But the weirdest thing is that his power even exceeds his limit. Apparently, he plans to explode to destroy everything in his path.
We can't afford that, so it's time to die together with that miserable one, since it won't be enough to keep him away. Are you with me?
Well, I've lived for millions of years, and have a dignified death is the best thing for a legend like me. I can also die peacefully knowing that a warrior named Vegeta also possesses the power of the Supreme Ozaru.
Goku, with a quick movement and using much more power, was able to knock Vegeta out of combat. So he would stretch out one of his hands, making Vegeta quickly recover. But he was still out of combat. That'll be enough, because this will not be a battle. It'll only be the end of something that should have never started.
I agree with you, Master. It's time to make.
For his part, in the entire realm of all, Mesfel was able to appear. That's right, the realm of the great Zeno-sama was equally considered the center of all the 12 universes.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm not interested in power anymore. I just want to end all you miserable. Mesfel, please stop, because if you detonate all that incredible energy, even you will die. Everything that is in this universe will be reduced to simple atoms. Don't you think it's funny? All this will be in the name of my most faithful warrior, Susanoo, so we will all die.
Mesfel's heart would start beating much faster, but instantly Goku was able to appear in front of everyone.
I've been able to realize your intentions, but apparently, for your energy to be able to explode, it must take about 5 minutes. In that time, I'll be able to get away from all this place.
Goku quickly would begin to access the Super Saiyan Almighty God. That's right, Goku in all this time was never able to master that transformation, since the price for using it was the destruction of each of his bones.
Apparently you're also willing to die, but I don't want to just end your life. I want to end all these universes.
I will let you do that, because of all these multiverses, I am the protector.
Goku would begin to grant him millions of blows, with which he would begin to out of control Mesfel's energy. That's right, Mesfel, having collected all that energy, his body was hundreds of times heavier than before, so he wasn't able to dodge Goku's attacks.
Mr. Goku will be able to take the victory. He's able to completely overcome.
No, my best friend is planning to die with Mesfel, because in case of not holding him or holding them, Mesfel was able to explode in these universes.
When Goku realized that Mesfel's energy would begin to gather in the great intensities, he would hold him tightly by the neck, beginning to move through millions of temporal cracks, beginning to be able to move away to millions of light years, in which his explosion would not be able to cause damage to the Divine Kingdom. On the other hand, returning to the Room of Time, Vegeta would wake up with an incredible headache.
Ugh, my head hurts too much. That damn insect in all this time anyway was holding back.
But the mental power would be relieved at that instant.
Vegeta, at this moment I leave the protection of the entire planet Earth in your hands. Since I plan to die in this last battle, you will be the warrior who will bring peace to all the 12 universes. And in your body lies the power of the Supreme Ozaru. I trust you, Prince Saiyan.
Vegeta would quickly leave the Room of Time, realizing how an incredible power was moving away from all 12 universes. The moment Vegeta would try to come, he would be held tightly by Beerus and Whis.
Mr. Vegeta, please stop. Mr. Goku informs us that you would try to do something like this.
Whis, let me go, damn it! There's another option. I won't let Kakarot die.
But in that instant, 4 gigantic powers had united into one. So a tremendous explosion would be seen by every warrior of the 12 universes. While the power of Goku and Mesfel completely disappeared, that's right, the essence of the Supreme Ozaru God had completely disappeared.
Friend Goku, the sacrifice you made will never be forgotten. I want them to make a big statue in each of the 12 universes, because thanks to you, we're still alive.
Damn insect, I didn't think you'd be able to leave me in such a big responsibility as taking care of these insects. But believe me, Kakarot, I'll meet your expectations.
This is how the two rivals had completely perished, as well as the Supreme Ozaru, along with his carrier son Goku, who would be remembered forever due to their great feats. The confrontation between Whis and Ryuk intensified as space became the stage for their fierce cosmic battle. The clash of divine and dark energies echoed in the void of the universe, creating ripples that stretched to the far reaches of space.
You think you can stop me, Whis?
The master of divine martial arts, Whis, maintained a serene composure as he resisted the onslaught of the Devourer of Worlds disciple. His divine aura glowed brightly, fighting against the darkness that threatened to envelop him. Whis, with a wave of his hand, unleashed a blast of divine energy that forced Ryuk back momentarily. However, the smile on the dark being's face revealed that he was far from giving up.
Ryuk, your quest for power will only lead to destruction.
Ryuk, releasing a sinister laugh, launched himself at Whis with renowned furiosity. Each exchange of blows was like a clash of titans, with the fate of the universe hanging in the balance. Meanwhile, Beerus was recovering from the wounds inflicted by Ryuk, watching the battle with critical eyes. The darkness that had pierced his abdomen was beginning to dissipate thanks to divine regeneration, but the experience had left an indelible mark.
This creature's more formidable than I imagined.
And determined not to be a mere spectator, Beerus joined the battle with renowned determination. His figure flashed with divine energy that rivaled Whis', creating a spectacle of light and shadow in space. The three powerful beings engaged in a cosmic dance, with flashes of divine and dark energy illuminating the vastness of the universe. Ryuk, without losing his smirk, took advantage of his transformation to increase his speed and strength, challenging the gods with every move. The combat reached new levels of complexity when Whis, in a flash of cunning, unleashed a divine teleportation technique. He moved at the speed of thought, appearing and disappearing at different points in space, keeping Ryuk on the defensive.
You can't dodge me forever, Whis.
As Whis and Ryuk clashed in space, Beerus focused on channeling his divine energy. The Destroyer God sank into a meditative state, concentrating on unleashing his true power. Beerus' transformation was gradual but impactful. His figure was enveloped in a golden aura, and his eyes shone with the intensity of a star. Divine power flowed through him, manifesting in a form that only the mightiest gods could attain, allowing the grievous wound left by Ryuk to be healed.
It's time to put an end to this.
The reborn Beerus lunged towards Ryuk with unparalleled speed. Each blow he delivered was imbued with overwhelming divine energy. Ryuk, though powerful, was overwhelmed by the onslaught of the Destroyer God. Meanwhile, Whis continued his cosmic ballet, defying the laws of space and time with his speed and agility. Every move was calculated, every blow strategically executed. The battle reached its climax as Beerus and Whis coordinated, combining their attacks to create a symphony of divine energy that enveloped Ryuk. The pressure in the air became almost tangible, and the cosmos itself seemed to rumble with the intensity of the conflict.
Do you have anything to say, Ryuk?
Ryuk, gravely wounded but still defiant, let out a shrill laugh. His figure writhed as the dark energy tried to resist the overwhelming pressure of the gods.
This is not the end, gods. My master will be released, and his darkness will devour all.
Beerus, showing no mercy, unleashed a sphere of concentrated divine energy and hurled it directly at Ryuk. The resulting explosion illuminated the space, dispelling the darkness that had lingered. Silence fell over the space as the gods watched the wreckage of the battle. Ryuk lay motionless, defeated, but not destroyed. His threat had been contained, at least for now.
This is not over. We need to find out more about his master and any threat that may arise.
Whis nodded, sharing the same determination. The reality of the danger that stalked the universe became more apparent, and the gods knew they had to prepare to face even greater challenges. The cosmic explosion that marked the end of the fierce battle dissipated into the vast space, leaving Whis and Beerus floating in momentary tranquility. As they regained their composure, a flash of gold announced the arrival of Daishinkan, the High Priest, who appeared before them with a serene but worried expression.
I see you've dealt with the threat, dear Whis and Beerus.
Yes, Father. Ryuk has been contained, at least for now.
But this isn't the end, is it?
Daishinkan smiled wisely as he held in his hands a strange artifact, a glowing sphere that emanated an energy like the one they felt during the battle.
This is what I wanted to show you. It's known as the Sphere of Divine Containment, an ancient artifact capable of sealing beings of great power and darkness.
Beerus and Whis watched intently as Daishinkan explained the function of the sphere and how it was used to keep the most dangerous entities in the universe at bay.
This artifact has been kept in safekeeping for eons. It's only brought to light in extreme situations. The dark energy they felt came from one of these sealed entities, released by Ryuk's recklessness.
Whis and Beerus exchanged worried glances as they assimilated the information.
Who are these sealed entities? They are beings from the distant past, fallen gods and creatures whose thirst for power make them uncontrollable. This sphere of divine containment is our safeguard against their resurgence.
So, Ryuk was one of them, and his master?
His master is the Devourer of Worlds, an even more ancient and dangerous being. His release could jeopardize existence itself.
The gravity of the situation hung heavy in the air as Daishinkan continued to explain the importance of keeping the sphere of divine containment safe and sealing Ryuk again. Now that Ryuk has been contained, it's crucial that he returns to his place of safekeeping. But we also need to get information from him. We need to know more about the Devourer of Worlds' plans and any threats that may arise. Beerus, Whis, and Daishinkan shared a determined look. The task was not complete. There is still work to be done. If interrogating Ryuk could give us answers, we'll do so, but we must proceed with caution.
The information we gathered will be essential to prepare for future threats. Also, we need to reinforce the security of the sphere of divine containment. Daishinkan, with a nod of his head, showed his approval of the god's decision.
Very well. Let us return to the realm of all and set preparations in motion. The safety of the universe depends on us.
The three gods, with the glowing sphere in hand, teleported to the realm of all, ready to confront the shadows of the past and ensure the stability of the universe. The spheres of divine containment, now more than ever, became the beacon of hope amidst the darkness that threatened to emerge. Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors, divided into groups, scattered into the sky in the direction of the unknown presences they had sensed on the planet of the northern Zeno-sama. In the air, they moved at impressive speeds, ready to face any threat that crossed their path. On Zeno-sama's planet, Goku and Vegeta appeared thanks to teleportation, scarring Zeno-sama with serious and determined expressions. Zeno-sama, who was waiting for them, welcomed them with nervous gestures.
Goku, Vegeta, I'm glad you came so quickly. The information I have is crucial.
We need to know what this artifact is and what threat it poses.
We don't have time to waste. What do you know?
Zeno-sama nodded and led the Saiyans to his small home on the planet. Once inside, they unfolded an ancient scroll that revealed information about a mystical artifact known as the Cosmic Core of Containment. He explained that this artifact was used by the ancient gods to seal entities of great evil and power, preventing them from wreaking havoc in the universe.
This artifact is so ancient that there are hardly any records of its creation. It was thought to be lost, but apparently all this time it was hidden on planet Earth.
And how is it supposed to be sealed?
Tell us at once.
Zeno-sama explained that the Cosmic Core of Containment could be opened by a being of great power, but in doing so, the seal would be transferred to the first being it encountered. If the seal was not broken immediately, it would merge with that being, granting it power, but also binding it to the duty of keeping the evil sealed.
And how the heck did it end up in Goku's chest?
That's the puzzling thing. It seems that this artifact shows Goku as its carrier.
Goku, with an expression of astonishment, began to grasp the magnitude of the situation. He was now the bearer of an artifact containing an entity of indescribable evil. So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
What an honor, Kakarot! It seems you've become the guardian of evil.
But there is something else. The being sealed inside the urn is incredibly powerful. He is known as Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. It is an ancient entity that has consumed entire worlds.
The gravity of the situation was reflected on the faces of Goku and Vegeta. Not only did they have to face the mysterious artifact in Goku's chest, but also the dark entity sealed within. Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and, at the same time, figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
Yes, make no mistake, Kakarot. If this threatens Earth, I'll not hesitate to stop you.
Meanwhile on Earth, the Z warriors faced unusual pressure as they prepared for combat. Each group was ready to deal with the entities they had sensed at Bulma's house, which were minions of Bahamut, the Devourer of Worlds. The dark energy surrounding these minions was intense, and the very air seemed to vibrate with their malevolent presence. The group of Krillin, Master Roshi, and Android 18 encountered one of Bahamut's 4 minions standing on the ground, humanoids with a black, malevolent aura. The Z warriors prepared for the confrontation with Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, adopting combat stances. In a chaotic dance of dark energy and flickering explosions, the confrontation between the Z warriors and Bahamut's henchmen unfolded on the cosmic stage of Earth's defense. Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi, 3 warriors of varying experience and skills, faced a dark menace that threatened to plunge the planet into an abyss of destruction. The stage was permeated with a tense atmosphere as the 3 warriors assumed combat stances, ready to defend the Earth against Bahamut's henchmen.
a being whose malevolent aura eclipsed even the intensity of the sun.
I don't know who you are, but we'll not allow you to harm our planet!
Krillin's words echoed in the air, charged with determination. Bahamut's henchman, a humanoid with a black malevolent aura, advanced with ferocity, launching a dark attack. Krillin, in a display of amazing agility, dodged the attacks, moving like a gust of wind across the battlefield.
Kaizen!
In the blink of an eye, Krillin created his signature energy disc and launched it towards the henchman. Kaizen spun furiously, cutting through the air as it headed towards its target. However, the henchman displayed unmatched skill as he dodged the spinning attack, moving with an agility that defied comprehension. The henchman counterattacked with a series of dark, swift strikes, but Krillin was unwilling to give up. With precise and quick movements, he blocked most of the attacks, responding with quick and precise counterattacks. The combat dance between Krillin and the henchman painted a picture of speed and skill, where each movement could change the tide of the battle. Meanwhile, Master Roshi, the aged warrior with vast experience in martial arts, watched the confrontation with a knowing smile. He adopted a firm posture, waiting for his moment to intervene.
You've chosen the wrong man to fight. I've seen more battles than you can imagine.
As Bahamut's henchman lunged towards him, Master Roshi moved with unique grace, dodging the attacks with precise movements and counterattacking with a series of energy blasts. The old man's experience and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge for the henchman, who was forced to deploy all his skills to confront the master. On the other hand, Android 18, the android warrior with formidable strength, advanced towards the henchman with determination. Her eyes glowed with an intense blue light as she unleashed her powerful android energy.
Do not underestimate the strength of androids.
With a quick wave of his hands, Android 18 launched a wave of energy towards the henchman. The latter, though impressed by the ferocity of the android warrior, showed no signs of recoiling. Instead, it lunged toward her with surprising speed, throwing dark blows that Android 18 dodged with cybernetic agility. The battle between Android 18 and the minion was a display of strength and speed, the bursts of energy lighting up the sky. Both fought with an intensity that could shake the foundations of the universe. Meanwhile, Android 18, a formidable warrior created by Dr. Gero, was ready to demonstrate her immense power. She charged her energy, her body radiating a red glow, and lunged towards the henchman with determination.
Don't underestimate me. I'm stronger than you think.
The henchman responded with a sudden surge of his dark aura, unleashing a surge of energy that pushed Android 18 back. The force of the impact created a shockwave, kicking up dust and debris in its wake. The battle was intense. Every move had a purpose and every attack resonated with the Z Warriors' determination to protect their home. Explosions of energy followed one after another, lighting up the battlefield like fireworks in the dark night of space. However, the true magnitude of the threat was yet to be fully revealed. This henchman was only one of 4 sent by Bahamut, and the fate of Earth depended on the ability of the Z Warriors to pass this first test. On the horizon, the other 3 minions awaited their turn, ready to plunge into the fray and test their bravery and skills of Earth's defenders. The intensity of the battle increased with each moment, and while Krillin, Android 18, and Master Roshi fought against the henchmen, other groups of Z Warriors faced similar challenges in different locations around the planet. The fate of the Earth hung in the delicate balance of the unfolding cosmic battle, and each warrior was determined to give everything for the survival of his home. While the first group of warriors were defending Earth on Kaio-sama's planet in the small house, it was permeated with a tense atmosphere and solemnity as Goku, Vegeta, and Kaio-sama were immersed in the gravity of the situation. The ancient scroll spread out on the table revealed the secrets of an ancient artifact, and the weight now rested on Goku's shoulders.
So you mean I'm now responsible for keeping this evil under control?
The responsibility rested on Goku like a heavy mantle. The cosmic core of containment, that ancestral artifact, had chosen Goku as its carrier, and within it was Bahamut, the devourer of worlds. The gravity of the situation was reflected in the eyes of the Saiyan, who was already mentally preparing himself for a colossal task ahead.
What an honor, Kakarot. Seems you've become the guardian of evil.
The irony of Vegeta's voice did not go unnoticed. While his words might have been sarcastic, the determination in his eyes indicated that, despite any jokes, they were in this together.
But there's something else. The being inside the artifact is incredibly powerful.
The information left Goku and Vegeta silent. Bahamut, the name echoed in their minds like the distant echo of a coming storm. Consuming entire worlds was a threat they could not underestimate.
Then we have an important task. We must keep Bahamut under control and at the same time figure out how to free ourselves from this burden.
The pact was sealed. Together, Goku and Vegeta would take on the challenge of containing Bahamut and discovering a way to free themselves from the burden they now carried. The remaining question was how they would confront the dark entity that lay in Goku's chest. But before they could formulate a plan, a vibration in the air alerted them to the arrival of others.
It seems your friends are in trouble. Go help them.
Goku and Vegeta nodded in a gesture and understanding and, with serious expressions, headed for the door. With a mighty leap, they launched themselves into the sky, ready to join the battle raging on planet Earth. At the moment that Kaiosama gave the information to Goku and Vegeta, on Earth appeared another henchman of Bahamut who met with the duo of Tenshinhan. This henchman of Bahamut seemed to be an expert in dark martial arts. He moved with supernatural agility, challenging the Z warriors with swift and lethal movements.
Do not underestimate the strength of humans. Kikoho!
Tenshinhan launched his powerful Kikoho attack, creating an explosion of energy that enveloped Bahamut's henchmen.
This is no ordinary enemy. I must use my powers wisely.
Chaos unleashing his magic, creating illusions and distractions to confuse Bahamut's henchmen. The battle was unfolding on multiple levels, with the Z warriors fighting against this enemy who seemed to understand the combat arts in unexpected ways. At that moment, realizing that the power with which they were facing Bahamut's henchmen was not enough to stop him, thanks to Chaos's distraction, they took the opportunity to try to escape. But they did not count on the great speed of their rival who, realizing that they wanted to escape, caught up with them, disappearing from the place where he was and appearing in front of them. At the precise moment in which he was about to eliminate Chaos and Tenshinhan, two people appeared between them and their rival Goku and Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta, with their gazes fixed on Bahamut's henchmen, shared a silent understanding. The gravity of the situation was clear on their faces, but there was no room for doubt.
Tenshinhan! Chaos! Go and warn the others about this threat. We need time to deal with this.
We don't want them to get hurt because of us. Go! We'll take care of this.
Tenshinhan and Chaos nodded, recognizing the determination in the Saiyans' voices. Wasting no time, they sped away, leaving Goku and Vegeta facing their formidable opponent. Bahamut's henchman, emanating overwhelming darkness, showed no signs of backing down. His eyes glowed with malice, aware of the battle ahead. The Z warriors were prepared to face any threat, and this would be no exception.
It's clear that this won't be easy.
That's what makes it exciting. Let's do it, Kakarot!
Goku and Vegeta charged at Bahamut's henchmen with impressive speed. At the moment when both warriors were fighting a battle that could change the fate of Earth, this being who presented himself as Bahamut's henchman, this dark entity with a humanoid shape but a bird's head, was going to be surprised by the abilities of the Saiyan warriors. In the middle of the combat, of all the show of strength between both warriors and this dark being, Takagami, with a confused face but confident that his strength was far superior to that of these earthly warriors, thought,
I'm amazed at the strength these earthly beings possess. I guess they deserve to know who'll kill them.
Then at that moment he told them with a malevolent smile, he said,
I've been surprised by warriors. That's why they deserve to know my name. I'm Takagami, sacred god of darkness, follower of the supreme god Bahamut.
Goku, very surprised of what he's hearing, said,
More gods? This sounds very dangerous and it's exciting.
Bug, shut up! The life of this planet's at risk and you get excited about a being that's very powerful.
The speed of the combat accelerated as Goku and Vegeta pounced on Takagami. The energy in the air became dense, vibrating with the intensity of the impending confrontation. Takagami, with his dark aura, stood his ground, disdainfully watching the approaching Saiyans.
Do you think you have a chance against the power of darkness?
Goku and Vegeta continued their advance, wasting no time in unnecessary words. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Takagami, unleashing a gale of blows. Takagami, with surprising agility, dodged many of the attacks, but some managed to land, demonstrating the strength of the Saiyans. Don't underestimate the power of a Saiyan!
Come on, God of Darkness. Show us what you can do.
Takagami responded to the challenge, unleashing his own fury. His speed and combat skills were amazing, deflecting the blows of Goku and Vegeta with subtle movements. The battle turned into a whirlwind of punches, kicks, and ki blasts, lighting up the sky with flashes of light and darkness.
They're just insects in front of the power of eternal darkness.
Goku in his base state and Vegeta, with their pride as the Saiyan Prince, continued to put pressure on Takagami. However, as the battle progressed, Takagami began to reveal more of his true power. His dark aura intensified, and his form subtly changed, revealing a transformation that increased his power exponentially.
This can't be good.
Goku, always excited for a challenge, added, "Vegeta, get ready! This is getting interesting." Takagami's increased power created an overwhelming pressure on the battlefield. His speed increased dramatically, and his strength eclipsed that of the Saiyans. However, Goku and Vegeta were not intimidated. With determination, they raised their own power of levels, taking the battle to new heights. The fighting continued with swift attacks and explosions shaking the battlefield. Goku and Vegeta, now in more advanced forms, kept up the pace, challenging Takagami at every turn. However, despite his efforts, the sacred god of darkness proved to be a formidable adversary.
This is entertaining, but your resistance is useless. The darkness consumes everything.
Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, exchanged determined glances. "Vegeta, it's time to go further!"
Huh, of course, Kakarot.
As Chaos and Ten Shinhan rushed to warn the other Z warriors, the confrontation between Goku, Vegeta, and Takagami entered a new level of intensity. The struggle for the fate of the universe was in full swing. A cosmic battle was raging on planet Earth, where darkness and light collided in a frantic dance of energy. Goku and Vegeta, the brave Saiyans, were facing Takagami, the Falcon, sacred god of darkness. The intensity of the combat resonated in the universe, and every movement threatened to tear reality itself apart. Takagami, who had increased his power, floated in the air with an imposing presence and dark aura. His eyes glowed with malice as he watched the Saiyans, who stood firm, prepared to defend their fate of the planet. In response to their enemies' increased power, Goku and Vegeta channeled their ki to the maximum, raising their power to the Super Saiyan.
Vegeta, this guy's strong, but that only means that this fight will be even better. Huh, of course, Kakarot. This is our time to shine.
The planet Earth vibrated with the energy released by the three contenders. The distant stars seemed to pale before the magnitude of the conflict. The clouds were dissipated by such a demonstration of power. Takagami, with his increased speed, lunged at Goku with a darkness-laden punch. Goku, using his elasticity and quickness, dodged gracefully, leaving a trail of flashes around him by the speed at which Takagami was lashing out with his nigh-speed punches. Vegeta, with a burst of ki, stepped between Goku and Takagami, blocking an attack that would have been devastating his fellow Saiyan. The shockwave from the collision sent debris in all directions.
I expected nothing less from you, sacred god of darkness.
Takagami defiantly unleashed a series of dark blasts towards Goku and Vegeta. The Saiyans responded with perfect timing, countering each attack with precise strikes and energy waves. The scene looked like a combat symphony, where every movement was choreographed with divine precision. Goku, with a twinkle in his eye, concentrated his energy on his hands. A bluish sphere of energy began to form, growing in size and luminosity. Vegeta, observing the familiar technique, smiled as he recognized the power that Goku was summoning. A colossal energy wave fired by Goku shot through the sky like lightning, hitting Takagami squarely. However, the darkness was absorbing the energy, and the Falcon emerged unscathed, laughing disdainfully.
Is that all you have, Saiyan?
While Goku was recovering from the effort of his attack, Vegeta launched himself at Takagami with supersonic speed. His fist slammed into the Dark God, creating a shockwave that shook the air. However, Takagami responded with a burst of energy that sent Vegeta backwards.
Ah! Damn, this guy's stronger than I thought.
Goku, recovering, joined the battle again. Both Saiyans, aware that they were facing a formidable enemy, decided that it was time to take the fight to the next level.
Vegeta, how about we show what we can really do?
Of course, Kakarot. Let's do it.
Goku and Vegeta began to accumulate energy around them. The atmosphere was charged with an intensity of their ki as they unleashed their advanced forms. Goku transformed into the Super Saiyan Blue, while Vegeta assumed his evolved form, the evolved Blue Super Saiyan. Are they taking each other seriously now? Goku and Vegeta, with their new forms, advanced towards Takagami with renewed determination. The speed and strength of the Saiyans were now incomparable. The impacts resounded like cosmic thunder, creating a symphony of destruction in the sky. The battle became even more intense. Goku and Vegeta, coordinating their movements, attacked Takagami with an impressive combination of techniques and melee attacks. The Falcon, despite its power, was overwhelmed by the ferocity of the Saiyans. Final flash! The bursts of energy, one blue and one golden, converged into a titanic explosion that engulfed Takagami. Light and darkness mixed in a burst of dazzling colors. However, when the explosion dissipated, Takagami emerged once more, his form slightly battered, but his determination intact. His power is awesome, but I'm a god. The darkness cannot be defeated so easily. Goku and Vegeta, without giving up, continued the offensive. The speed of his combat reached levels that defied comprehension. Punches and kicks were exchanged in a split second, creating a glow of cosmic collisions.
Big Bang attack!
Kaioken 20 times!
The energy exploded again, shaking the sky with its fury. However, Takagami, with his divine resistance, withstood the attacks. The battle raged across the cosmos, with the warriors disappearing and reappearing in flashes of light and shadow. In the middle of the struggle, Goku and Vegeta began to feel an overwhelming pressure. Takagami's darkness seemed to expand, defying even the limits of the most powerful Saiyans. Reality itself was twisting under the influence of dark energy.
This darkness is incredibly strong.
We can't back down now, Kakarot. We must get over this.
Both Saiyans raised their powers even more. The fight reached a new peak of intensity. The Saiyan was exploding like fireworks in the vastness of the night sky, lighting up the darkness with flashes of determination and defiance. Takagami, at the epicenter of the storm, smiled ominously.
Now you'll see the true power of eternal darkness.
The universe trembled as the battle reached its climax. The warriors were fighting for the fate of everything they knew, and the question that lingered in space was whether the light of the Saiyans could overcome the darkness of the sacred god. The planet Earth rumbled with the intensity of the cosmic battle. Goku and Vegeta, drenched in sweat, maintained their advanced forms as they prepared for Takagami's next assault. Darkness was emanating from his figure, but something seemed out of place. The Dark God's skin had a grayish hue, as if he had not yet completed the possession of its wearer. Takagami, with a guttural laugh, seemed to notice the perplexity in the Saiyans' expressions.
Surprise, Saiyans! I've not yet revealed all my power.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged puzzled looks. Something was not right, and both warriors felt it. At that moment, Takagami convulsed. A new form shook, as if he was fighting against something. An invisible force seemed to pull at him from within.
No! I haven't taken complete control yet!
Suddenly, a burst of dark energy enveloped Takagami, hiding him from view. The Saiyans were on guard, prepared for any surprise. Their energy in the air became denser, as if the cosmos itself was on the verge of transformation.
What's going on?
Before they could form any more questions, the dark energy dispersed, revealing Takagami's true form. However, what they saw took their breath away. At the moment of arriving at his true form, he let himself see the body he was possessing. This body was Yamcha's. Once the warriors saw that, Takagami completed his bird-headed humanoid form, and now the true form of the sacred god of destruction was clearly revealed. The falcon's head was clearly shown, with a defined musculature but a thin body, wearing blue Egyptian clothes with gold bracelets and a gold necklace. Huge wings which disappeared and appeared at their whim. Now Takagami had something going for him. He was playing against the Saiyan warriors. Not only should he defeat them, but they should also avoid harming Yamcha.
That's what Yamcha looks like!
Takagami's rumbling laughter filled the space. Now completely in possession of Yamcha's body, the Dark God was displaying a malevolent smile.
That's right, Saiyans. This weak body belongs to me now.
Vegeta gritted his teeth furiously.
Damn it! How dare you possess one of us? It's not just one Saiyan. Soon all of you will become Baomut puppets.
The reality of the situation hit Goku and Vegeta, but the force of the cosmic impact, the dark entity they were facing was not only a dark god, but also had the power of possessing earthling warriors. Yamcha, now inside the sacred god of darkness, did not have any sign of consciousness. The god had taken control of his being completely.
Ha 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 ha! There's no escape. Baomut will be released, and this universe will fall into eternal darkness.
Goku and Vegeta shared a determined look. They knew the threat was even greater now. Not only were they fighting a dark god, they were also faced the possibility of losing their friends and allies in this fight.
Vegeta, we have to find a way to free Yamcha and stop Takagami. Of course, Kakarot. But first, we have to deal with this dark god.
The battle continued, but now the situation was more desperate. Takagami, with Yamcha's body, unleashed an unstoppable fury. The Saiyans struggled not only against eternal darkness, but also against the weight of facing one of their own companions. Explosions of energy lit up the sky, but the inner struggle of Goku and Vegeta was equally intense. Every blow, every burst of ki resonated with the promise of freeing Yamcha and saving the universe from the threat of Baomut. But Takagami wasn't going to give up so easily.
Do you think you could beat one of the World Eater's henchmen?
The dark energy intensified in the ultimate form of the sacred god of darkness. Now, the freedom to be able to use all his power launched relentless attacks. Goku and Vegeta, with their advanced forms, were fighting with all their might, but the darkness had a firm grip. The struggle dragged on. Every moment seemed like an eternity. Yamcha, although he was just a contender for Takagami, at one point during the fight showed signs of pain on his face. It was as if his very essence was fighting against the darkness that was consuming her.
Yamcha, hold on! Let's get you out of this!
But Goku's words were lost in the storm. Takagami, with a maniacal laugh, continued his assault. The Earth, witness of this cosmic conflict, trembled before the magnitude of the confrontation between light and darkness. Somewhere far away, Chaos and Ten Shinhan, after alerting the other Z warriors about the threat, returned to the battlefield. Seeing the situation, Ten Shinhan's face filled with fury as Chaos clenched his fist determinedly.
Takagami, I'll make sure you pay for this!
Both warriors joined the fight, but even with their abilities, facing a dark god who possessed one of his own would not be so easy. The battle turned into a desperate struggle to face Yamcha and stop Baomut before he was released. During the chaos, Goku and Vegeta shared a look of determination. The darkness could be powerful, but the light of the Saiyans would shine even in the darkest moments. The battle for the fate of the universe was far from over, and Earth's heroes were ready to face any challenges that stood in their way. Taking a trip to the past, one day before the strange artifact was impregnated into Goku's chest, after rescuing his son Goten, Yamcha, oblivious to the imminent danger that was coming, was exploring an ancient Egyptian pyramid during an archaeological expedition. The atmosphere was charged with mystery and the promise of amazing discoveries. Deep inside the pyramid, Yamcha stumbled upon an ancient artifact that was glowing with a dim light. It was an Egyptian bracelet decorated with intricate hieroglyphs. Fascinated by her beauty and attracted by an inexplicable force, Yamcha could not resist and placed the bracelet on his wrist. The moment the bracelet touched his skin, a strange sensation enveloped Yamcha. It was not painful or threatening, but rather captivating. An ancestral connection was established between the earthly warrior and the Egyptian artifact. What Yamcha didn't know was that this artifact contained an ancient power linked to the age of gods and legends. As the light from the bracelet merged with Yamcha, an ancient presence awoke. It was the essence of an ancient god that was lying asleep inside the artifact. However, this being was neither malevolent nor benevolent. It was simply an ancestral force seeking to join a mortal existence, or at least that was what Yamcha felt at that moment. The god, by merging with Yamcha, granted him abilities and knowledge beyond his comprehension. Yamcha felt with a strength and connection to the story itself, The fusion, although puzzling at first, resulted in a unique symbiosis between the earthly warrior and the divine entity. Yamcha didn't know what the bracelet actually was. Returning to the battle, every moment became more challenging for Goku and Vegeta and the earthly warriors. Takagami, now completely liberated, unleashed a destructive force that tested even the most powerful Saiyans. In an effort to turn the tide of the battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos joined the fight. Both warriors, aware of the threat possessed by Takagami, threw themselves into the fray bravely. His unique skills and determination added a new dynamic to the conflict, but even with his intervention, the darkness persisted.
Ten Shinhan, keep the pressure on. We cannot allow this darkness to take over our world.
Ten Shinhan nodded, concentrating his energy on coordinated attacks with Goku and Vegeta. Despite their combined efforts, Takagami remained a relentless adversary. As the battle reached its peak, Goku and Vegeta, exhausted but without losing their determination, shared a look of mutual understanding. They knew they needed an extra power to face Takagami at his finest. Instantly, an idea crossed their minds of the Saiyans' fusion.
Vegeta, I know it's not something you prefer, but I think it's our only option. I don't like to admit it, Kakarot, but I agree with you. If we want to stop this monster, we need all the power we can get.
Both warriors assumed the necessary postures to perform the fusion dance. The energy of Goku and Vegeta intertwined in a brilliant flash, and within seconds, an entirely new warrior emerged. Gogeta in his base form, the supremely powerful fusion of the two Saiyans.
It seems the occasion requires it. Now, Takagami, get ready. So you think a ridiculous fusion will be able to stand up to my power?
Gogeta rushed towards Takagami with amazing speed. The matchup that followed was an unmatched display of skills. Gogeta dodged Takagami's attacks with grace, fighting back with overwhelming force. However, the darkness that enveloped the Dark God proved to be a formidable challenge. During the intense battle, Ten Shinhan and Chaos continued to bravely fight, but the price of a confrontation was already becoming apparent. Takagami, taking advantage of the distraction, launched a devastating attack that left Ten Shinhan and Chaos seriously injured. Goku and Vegeta, seeing their companions in danger, felt a surge of rage. Gogeta redoubled his efforts, attacking with renewed ferocity. However, Takagami, aware of the situation, diverted his attention to Ten Shinhan and Chaos.
Feeling the despair, Saiyans? Soon this world will witness its end.
Goku and Vegeta, full of rage and determination, increased their speed. They knew they needed to do something before Takagami carried out his threats. The battle reached its climax when Gogeta launched a massive attack on Takagami, seeking to break his resistance. However, the darkness surrounding Takagami intensified, revealing a surprise resistance. It was then that Ten Shinhan and Chaos, still on the ground, exchanged a determined look. They knew that whatever they had to do to give Gogeta a chance to defeat Takagami.
Goku, Vegeta, you need time. I'll take care of holding this monster. I'll come with you, Ten Shinhan. Together we'll be the barrier they need.
Goku and Vegeta, although reluctant to lose their friends, went at full speed to avoid what they had in mind.
Don't do it, Ten Shinhan! Chaos!
Ten Shinhan and Chaos stood up, ignoring the pain coursing through their bodies. With determination, they faced Takagami, resisting his attacks with all their might. Gogeta, seeing the situation, understood the magnitude of the sacrifice they were making.
We cannot disappoint this sacrifice. We have to win this.
While Ten Shinhan and Chaos bravely fought Takagami, Gogeta continued his assault with the intensity intact. The battle was taking place on two fronts, with the Earth Warriors sacrificing themselves to provide the necessary opening. Goku and Vegeta, as he approached, their hearts were filled with sorrow and gratitude towards Ten Shinhan and Chaos. Gogeta, with supersonic speed, approached the scene where Ten Shinhan and Chaos were bravely facing Takagami. His gaze reflected the mixture of determination and regret, knowing that the sacrifices of his teammates were the key to victory.
Hold on a little longer, guys. Let's put an end to this.
The Saiyan fusion advanced towards Takagami, who, upon seeing Gogeta's arrival, stopped attacking Ten Shinhan and Chaos to confront the fused warrior. The intensity of the battle reached a new level, with attacks and counterattacks echoing across the battlefield. Ten Shinhan, with his remaining strength, took advantage of that distraction to hold Takagami with all his strength, preventing him from moving freely. His face showed determination and resignation at the same time.
Chaos, this is your chance. Make every second I hold this monster worth it.
Chaos, next to Ten Shinhan, nodded weakly. His body showed the ravages of the battle, but his eyes were shining with all the will to do the duty.
Tenshinhan is right, Gogeta. The light will always prevail over the darkness. Remember that.
Goku, Vegeta, take care of our world. This is our last act. At that moment, Chaos accumulated an immense amount of energy to sacrifice himself. Gogeta, who was very close, were hit by the shock wave of the explosion. Gogeta, recovering from the impact, looked at the place where his companions were with solemnly.
Your sacrifice will not be in vain. I promise.
After what happened, Gogeta raised his head and with an uncontrollable anger increased his ki in such a way that he made the battlefield rumble, making the stones that were in the place fly, making Takagami retreat only with the gusts of air that expanded from his being. In a panning from head to toe, we managed to see Gogeta's transformation in Super Saiyan Blue Phase 4, which showed the essence of Ozaru as a kind of aura in blue color, and a more controlled but much more powerful version, a transformation never seen, since they were not able to coordinate their powers to be able to reach said transformation. As Gogeta's energy transformed into a surprising and controlled version of Super Saiyan Blue Stage 4, a brilliant blue essence of Ozaru manifested around him, revealing unparalleled potency. The cosmic landscape trembled before the magnitude of this new form. Goku and Vegeta, witness of this unique transformation, were filled with amazement and determination. It was evident that Gogeta was reaching a level of power never seen before, fusing the essence of Super Saiyan Blue with Ozaru's formidable presence flawlessly. Gogeta, in his new form, turned an intense gaze towards Takagami, whose expression of confidence was overshadowed by surprise. The battle, far from having come to an end, was just beginning in this new phase. The universe was waiting for the outcome of this epic confrontation, where light and darkness collided in a cosmic dance. The promise of a new dawn loomed on the horizon, but the price of triumph was uncertain. Gogeta floated in the sky, surrounded by the imposing energy of his new form. The stars seemed to pale before the intensity of his blue radiance, as Takagami recovered from the initial impact and adopted a defensive posture.
What kind of transformation is this? This is the power of those who fight for something greater than themselves.
With a flash, Gogeta disappeared, appearing in front of Takagami in the blink of an eye. The clash of their fists created shockwaves that shook the battlefield. Gogeta's speed and strength were unmatched, surpassing even Takagami's ability to anticipate his blows. Gogeta and Takagami exchanged blows and energy blasts at breakneck speed. Each impact resounded like cosmic thunder, creating an epic symphony on planet Earth.
Your attempt to revive your so-called gods ends here, Takagami. But you're a bug in the face of the greatness of my power.
In an instant, Gogeta unleashed a burst of concentrated energy, enveloping Takagami in a whirlwind of light and force. When the light dissipated, Takagami emerged unharmed, but with a more serious expression.
Interesting, but not enough.
The battle was reaching cosmic levels, with ripples of energy spreading across the far reaches of the universe. Meanwhile, the other Z warriors watched the sky, appreciating Gogeta's great power of display and Takagami's resilience and viciousness. The roar of battle echoed in every corner of the universe. Gogeta and Takagami, wrapped in an endless dance of energy, continued their titanic confrontation. Space twisted and trembled under the influence of their powers, creating distortions itself. Bursts of energy expanded like lightning, illuminating the darkness of the night sky with dazzling flashes. Each blow between the two contenders seemed to release an explosion of energy that spread in concentric waves, setting the frantic pace of the cosmic battle. Away from the battlefield, the others watched in anguish and admiration. Bulma, with a mixture of fear and hope in her eyes, clung to the hope that Gogeta would prevail.
Come on, Gogeta, you must win! For all of us!
Meanwhile, on the battlefield, Gogeta and Takagami continued their fierce exchange. Determination burned in Gogeta's eyes, while Takagami maintained a defiant smile, though his expression hid a growing unease.
This is for the price you pay for defying the peace of the universe.
With a swift movement, Gogeta vanished and reappeared behind Takagami, launching an energy-charged punch straight at his back. But Takagami, anticipating, quickly spun around and blocked the attack with the dark energy shield.
Haha! Is that all you got?
In response, Gogeta intensified his assault, unleashing a continuous flurry of punches and kicks. Each impact resounded like thunder. But Takagami, though outmatched in speed, resisted with his dark power, countering the attacks with deft movements. During the scuttle, Takagami took advantage of the prevalent moment of openness and opened up a launched energy bolt straight for Gogeta's chest. The resulting explosion shook the universe and Gogeta was thrown backwards, leaving a trail of blue energy. Is that all hope can do? Gogeta recovered quickly, stood up with determination. The glow of his transformation increased even more. This is far from over. The battle continued, leading them again to display an ever-increasing amount of power. In this fury, Gogeta unleashed power that defied the laws of the universe, and Takagami, despite his arrogance, began to show signs of concern. The tension was palpable. The Z Warriors felt the intensity of the confrontation, even when they were a long distance away from where the battle for the future of the planet was taking place. Piccolo was seriously watching, calculating every move and thinking at some point this battle, which was far from over, would be a favorable outcome. Piccolo, in his thoughts,
Goku, Vegeta, we trust you. You must win this battle.
The battle reached a new climax when Gogeta and Takagami met at an eminent point in the battle. The energy emanated from them, illuminating the vastness of the dark sky, creating a dazzling spectacle of colors and flashes. You cannot escape darkness. Darkness will never prevail over light.
You're a fool if you think your light can eclipse my power.
Suddenly, a voice echoed in Gogeta's mind, a familiar but distant voice.
Gogeta, do not underestimate your enemy. Truth lies within strength.
The transmission abruptly cut off, leaving Gogeta bewildered. Before he could reflect on it, however, Takagami lunged towards him with surprising speed, unleashing a series of punches and kicks that left Gogeta struggling to keep up. At that moment, a fleeting image flashed through Gogeta's mind, a vision of his loved ones, of his purpose, and the responsibility he carried on his shoulders. The energy of the transformation fanned, and Gogeta, with newfound determination, struck back with renewed ferocity. This is the limit of your tyranny, Takagami!
The limit's up to you, Gogeta, and your limit is my power!
Suddenly, the sky around him fragmented, and multiple distorted versions of Takagami emerged from the dimensional rifts, each with a malevolent grin.
You cannot defeat me, Gogeta. I am eternal. I'm a god!
You may be powerful, but I'm not alone in this! The battle reached a new intensity as multiple distorted incarnations of Takagami surrounded Gogeta. Each emanated a dark energy that defied the laws of the universe. The air itself seemed to vibrate with the pressure of their combined presences. At that precise moment, Goku and Vegeta's fusion had come to an end due to the amount of power they had used in order to stand up to Takagami. Goku and Vegeta, although they had returned to their individual forms after the fusion, knew that the key by defeating Takagami lay in perfect unity and coordination. Vegeta, we're in this together. Let's give all our power to be able to confront him so we can free Yamcha from this so-called god.
Yes, Kakarot, this insect will not defeat us.
The Z Warriors watched in amazement, aware that the fate of the universe hung in the balance. Piccolo analyzed the situation, looking for any weaknesses that could be exploited. The others prepared to act if the opportunity presented itself. Goku and Vegeta, now separated, their fusion as Gogeta, faced Takagami with determination in their eyes. The dark presence of the supposed god loomed over them, but the Saiyans were determined to free Yamcha and put an end to the threat he posed. Vegeta, we need to coordinate our attacks. We've always been stronger when we fight together.
For once, I agree with you, Kakarot. This insect will pay for what he did.
The two Saiyans lunged towards Takagami, attacking with a combination of punches and ki blasts. Takagami, though powerful, was momentarily overwhelmed by the timing of the two warriors. However, his sinister laugh echoed across the battlefield.
Your union will change nothing. My power is unlimited.
Goku and Vegeta exchanged glances, realizing that the situation was more serious than they had imagined. Takagami unleashed a wave of dark energy that sent them flying, but they quickly recovered, ready to continue the fight. The Z Warriors watched with concern. Gohan, though a bit intimidated by Takagami's power, maintained his unwavering determination. Piccolo, with his keen intelligence, pointed out a possible weakness.
It seems his power is linked to some source. We must find a way to break that connection.
Goten and Trunks, who had arrived along with Gohan, eager to join the battle, looked at their parents with concern. However, Piccolo stopped them.
Guys, we need a plan before we launch into battle. Your strength will be crucial at the right time.
While the Z-Warriors thought of a plan, Goku and Vegeta continued their fierce assault against Takagami. Every time it seemed they were about to defeat him, his power increased and the evil emanating from him intensified.
Ha 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 ha! Your resistance is useless. My power thrives on despair and suffering.
Then we must find a way to change that. Vegeta, we need to attack together, but with a strategy.
You're finally thinking clearly, Kakarot. Let's do it!
The two Saiyans, coordinating their movements, executed a series of synchronized attacks. Although Takagami was defending himself skillfully, he began to show signs of discomfort. The connection between his power and the external source seemed to be faltering. At that instant, Piccolo noticed the opportunity.
Now is the time. Gohan, wait for the opening we'll give you so you can attack. Goten, Trunks, follow me on my signal.
Gohan nodded, conveying a look of confidence to his friends. Goten and Trunks prepared to act on Piccolo's directions.
Everyone, let's send our energies to Goku and Vegeta. We must strengthen their connection and weaken Takagami's source of power.
The Z-Warriors gathered their energies and, with a coordinated effort, sent a stream of ki skyward. Goku and Vegeta, sensing the surge of power, seized the opportunity.
They're doing it! Come on, Vegeta!
The connection between Goku, Vegeta, and the Z-Warriors created a unique synergy. Energy flowed through them, strengthening their resolve and weakening Takagami's external source of power.
This can't be happening!
The darkness surrounding Takagami began to dissipate, due to the large amount of energy they were receiving from their friends. Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, observing the battle, noticed the opportunity to intervene.
Now, guys, let's go!
Goten and Trunks took flight into the sky where Goku and Vegeta were, joining the fight against Takagami. With the energy of the Z-Warriors strengthening the connection between Goku and Vegeta, the real battle was about to begin. The fusion of powers of the Saiyans between father and son created an explosion of energy that enveloped Takagami. The fight intensified, but now, with hope and determination as their allies, Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks were ready to face the Dark God and free the universe from his evil domain. The burst of energy that enveloped Takagami reverberated throughout the universe. The fusion of the powers of Goku, Vegeta, and his sons created a symphony of forces, illuminating the sky with a brilliant radiance that defied the darkness Takagami had tried to impose. Takagami, enveloped in the luminescence of the combined energy, struggled to maintain his composure. The connection between his power and the source of his power, Yamcha, was weakening with every second, and his sinister laugh began to turn into growls of frustration.
We're making progress, Vegeta!
Yes, but let's not let our guard down. It's not over.
As the Saiyans continued their coordinated offensive, Goten and Trunks and their Super Saiyan forms joined the battle. The pressure on Takagami intensified, as he now faced not only the two adult Saiyans, but also that of his sons. The coordination between them was impressive, and every move was backed by the combined strength of the Z-Warriors.
Dad! Vegeta! We're here to help! Let's show this guy that the Saiyan family is unstoppable!
The trio of Saiyans, with their different levels of expertise and abilities, formed a united front against Takagami. The battle was getting more and more intense, with bursts of energy and flurries of attacks lighting up space like a celestial spectacle. Piccolo, Gohan, Krillin, and the others channeled their energies to strengthen the connection between the Saiyans and, at the same time, searched for weaknesses in Takagami's defense.
We must keep the pressure on and look for any opportunity to unbalance Takagami.
Dad, Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, we all trust you! Let's defeat this enemy together!
In space, the synergy between the Saiyans reached its peak. Goku and Vegeta, with the energy of their sons and the Z-Warriors, fused their attacks in an amazing display of power. Takagami, despite his resistance, began to give ground.
This is not possible! I'm a god! I cannot be defeated!
The connection between his power and the external source was on the verge of collapse. The Saiyans, sensing Takagami's weakness, redoubled their efforts. Goten, Trunks, guided by Piccolo's strategy, attacked from unexpected angles, while Goku and Vegeta continued their frontal assault. Piccolo noticed a key opportunity.
Now, Gohan, it's your time!
Gohan, in his final form ready to take advantage of the opportunity, concentrated his energy and launched himself into the confrontation. With surprising speed, he joined the fight alongside Goku, Vegeta, Goten, and Trunks.
Let's finish this, Dad!
The symphony of energy between the Z Warriors and the Saiyans reached its climax. Takagami, beset on all sides, struggled to stand, and the skies erupted in an explosion of light and darkness as the heroes joined forces to confront the Dark God. The battle reached its climax, and every move decided the fate of the universe. The Z Warriors from Earth watched with eagerness and hope, knowing that victory was within reach, but also aware that the final fight was yet to come. With the Saiyans and the Z Warriors facing Takagami in a cosmic confrontation. However, amidst the chaos of battle, a small distraction allowed Takagami to strike back with furiosity. Goten and Trunks, focused on following Piccolo's strategy, attacked from different angles. However, in a moment of minimal distraction, Takagami seized the opportunity and launched a surprise counterattack. With quick and precise movements, the Dark God managed to evade Goten and Trunks' attacks, countering them with punches and energy blasts.
Ha ha ha! Your efforts are useless, children! I'm the all-consuming darkness!
Goten and Trunks, though agile and powerful, found themselves in a precarious situation. Takagami, with his speed and cunning, left the young Saiyans struggling to keep up.
We have to protect them!
Takagami's concentration of power is increasing. We need to regroup and find a strategy to counter his moves.
Meanwhile, in the sky, Goten and Trunks, despite the setbacks, continued to fight bravely. They tried to coordinate their attacks, but Takagami's speed and cunning proved to be a formidable challenge.
Trunks, we have to stay focused!
I know, but this guy's stronger than I imagined!
In an unexpected twist, Takagami launched a blast of dark energy that hit Goten and Trunks, leaving them badly injured. Both Saiyans fell backwards with obvious signs of exhaustion and pain.
Goten! Trunks!
This damned Dark God!
The adult Saiyans intensified their assault, determined to avenge their momentary fall of their sons. Takagami, however, taking advantage of the confusion and despair that gripped the Z Warriors, rejoiced in his newly strengthened power.
This is how the heroes of the universe give up. They may fight, but in the end, darkness will always prevail.
The result was becoming even more tense. The Z Warriors, though determined, were facing the reality that their fight was far from over. Goten and Trunks, wounded but not defeated, were struggling to recover and rejoin the battle.
We need a new approach. Takagami's strength increases with each passing moment.
We'll protect Goten and Trunks. We'll not let the darkness prevail.
The battle, now more critical than ever, was plunging into a desperate confrontation where the survival of the universe hung in the balance. Gohan, observing the critical situation of his brother Goten and Trunks, could not contain the fury that burned within him. A flash of anger crossed his eyes, and his energy rose to levels that would leave even the most experienced Saiyans dumbfounded. He lunged towards Takagami with shocking speed, ignoring any concern for his own safety.
With this price, you'll pay for hurting my family!
His speed and furiosity impressed everyone on the battlefield. Every blow he delivered carried with it a pent-up rage of a protective brother. Takagami, though initially surprised, adapted to the intensity of Gohan's attacks.
Do you think your anger can stop me?
I'm going to protect my family and the entire universe from your darkness!
The battle between Gohan and Takagami unleashed an energy storm in space. Goku and Vegeta watched in awe and fear as the conflict reached levels that defied comprehension. Despite their determination, they realized they were facing a power beyond anything they had faced before.
This kid, his power is amazing!
We can't let Gohan fight alone. We must support him.
As Gohan continued his relentless assault, Takagami showed a significant improvement in his defensive ability. Every blow was met with inhuman prowess. The battle reached a point where the universe itself seemed to be on the verge of collapse. The epic confrontation between Gohan and Takagami pushed the Saiyan warrior to the limit of his abilities. Despite Gohan's bravery and skill, the Dark God, with unmatched cunning and speed, found an opening in his defense. With a graceful twist, Takagami unleashed a ripping attack, a blast of dark energy that sliced through the air with a malevolent precision. Gohan, surprised by the speed and ferocity of the attack, barely had time to react. The energy wave hit Gohan full on, enveloping him in an explosion of light and darkness. The force of the impact threw Goku's eldest son backwards, causing him to stagger, desperately struggling to stay on his feet. The dark energy left its mark on Gohan's body, marking him with deep, tearing wounds.
Ah! This can't be so strong!
Takagami, with a sinister smile, hovered in the air, observing the result of his devastating attack. The black energy around him seemed to vibrate with satisfaction as Gohan tried to recover.
This is the power you praise so much? You're no match for me, Gohan.
Goku and Vegeta, witnessing the scene from a distance, gritted their teeth helplessly. The situation was becoming more critical with each passing moment. Goten and Trunks, still injured but recovering, were prepared to rejoin the fight.
Gohan! This damned, we can't let this continue.
Goten and Trunks, sensing the urgency of the situation, approached Gohan to help him. Despite his own injuries, determination shone in his eyes.
Brother, are you alright? Yes, but we need a new approach.
We're not going to let this guy get away with this! Meanwhile, Piccolo and the other Z Warriors were also assessing the situation, looking for any opportunity to change the course of the battle. The pressure on them was mounting, and the need to find an effective strategy was becoming more apparent.
We have to work together. Gohan, can you keep fighting?
Gohan nodded, ignoring the pain coursing through his body. His determination had not dulled, on the contrary. Takagami's imminent threat stoked it.
I can't give up, but we need a strategy. Something that could surprise him.
Surprise him, you say?
As the Z Warriors immersed themselves in strategy to counter Takagami, a small distraction took over the battlefield. Goten and Trunks, aware of the need of a different approach, exchanged determined glances. Without saying a word, they assumed the familiar fusion dance stance. The other warriors, immersed in their tactics, barely noticed the sudden disappearance of Goten and Trunks as they performed the fusion. The energy around them condensed into a brilliant flash that revealed Gotenks, Super Saiyan, the powerful fusion of the two young Saiyans.
Ready to give this guy a surprise!
With impressive speed, Gotenks launched himself towards Takagami, who was momentarily startled by the new presence on the battlefield. Gotenks, with his characteristic air of self-sufficiency, began to unleash a series of swift and agile attacks, challenging the Dark God with renewed energy.
Here I come!
Takagami, however, far from being intimidated, smiled sinisterly. With a casual gesture, he deflected Gotenks' attacks as if toying with him.
Is that all you've got, you little fused insect?
Gotenks persisted, intensifying his attacks, trying to find an opening in Takagami's defense. However, the Dark God, with a graceful move, countered each blow with ease.
Come on! It can't be!
In the moment of distraction, Takagami took advantage of the situation. With impressive speed, he launched a blast of dark energy that enveloped Gotenks before he could react. The resulting explosion threw Gotenks backwards, knocking him to the ground unconscious and disfigured.
Gotenks!
This is worse than we thought.
Takagami, now more confident of his superiority, hovered in the air, glaring at the defeated warriors. Goten and Trunks, still unconscious, lay on the ground as Takagami revealed in his moment of victory.
Ha 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 ha! Is this all you offer, Z Warriors? Your desperation only increases my power.
With the outlook darkened by Gotenks' momentary defeat, attention turned to Gohan, who, badly wounded but driven by an inner strength, began to radiate intense energy. The pain in his body seemed to fuel his determination, and a wild golden glow enveloped as his ki reached never-before-seen levels. In the blink of an eye, Gohan transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 3, a form of awesome power that surprised even Takagami. Gohan's hair grew out of control, his muscles swelled, and his expression reflected a mixture of pain and fierce determination.
What is this? A new trick?
Gohan, with a wild roar, launched himself towards Takagami with shocking speed. The force of his blows and the intensity of his attacks shook the battlefield, creating a storm of energy around him. The conflict between light and darkness took on a new dimension as Gohan challenged the limits of his own power.
You're going to pay for what you've done!
The confrontation between Gohan in his Super Saiyan Phase 3 form and Takagami marked a drastic change in the intensity of the battle. The skies, previously serene, witness of the confrontation. darkened with the energy unleashed by both combatants, and each blow resounded like thunder in the vast and silent cosmic space, defying the tranquility of the stars watching from a distance. The explosions of energy briefly illuminated the darkness, creating a chaotic and majestic spectacle at the same time. The flashes of light and shadow intertwined in a frantic dance that reflected the ferocity of the combat. The shockwaves spread out in the distance, distorting space itself and recalling the magnitude of the power unleashed on that battlefield. Each movement was a ballet of strength and dexterity, with Gohan and Takagami challenging each other in a battle that transcended the physical, entering the realms of the mystical and the epic. Their cries of determination were lost amid the din of battle, but their spirits echoed in every exchange of blows, making it clear that this confrontation was not just for dominance or survival, but for the legacy of their lineages and the protection of their worlds. Gohan, his eyes shining with an indomitable determination, channeled all his power in every movement, leaving a trail of energy that shimmered with a force that defied the limits of the unimaginable. His taut muscles, his golden aura glowing with intensity, made him an unstoppable force that sought justice and protection for all those he loved and defended.
You will not escape my justice, Takagami! My determination's like an unbreakable torrent that'll sweep away any darkness you try to sow. Every blow I throw carries with it the strength of all those I protect and defend. I'll not rest until the truth shines on every shadow you've woven with your deceptions. Get ready to face the justice I bring.
Gohan roared with fiery fury, his voice echoing across the battlefield like an echo of the very protective will drive him. Every blow he threw carried with it the emotional burden of years of struggle and sacrifice, the determination of a hero willing to do anything for the well-being of his world and his loved ones. On the other hand, Takagami, with his characteristic agility and calculated cunning, dodged Gohan's attacks with fluid and precise movements. His cold and calculating gaze contrasted with the ferocity of the Saiyan, unveiling an enemy who did not underestimate the threat he faced.
Interesting. I see that the power of the Saiyan pride still burns deep in your being, Gohan. But let me tell you this. However intense it may be, will not be enough to defy the chains of your inevitable fate.
Between each exchange of blows and dodges, the battlefield turned into an epic scenario where two titans collided, not only with their bodies, but with their convictions and purposes. The fate of both was intertwined in a deadly dance where determination, skill, and strength merged in a conflict that transcended the physical and went deep into their warriors' souls. The clash of energies was so intense that the Z warriors felt the pressure and overwhelming weight of the unfolding confrontation. The magnitude of the conflict resonated in every corner of the known universe, like an echo of power that transcended planetary barriers and penetrated the very heart of those who were fighting for survival and justice. The fluctuations in ki were palpable, even to those watching from a distance, like a symphony of opposing forces colliding in a chaotic but harmonious dance. Every member of the Z Warriors could feel the electricity in the air, the tension that preceded every strategic move and every heartbreaking blow. The earth trembled under the influence of the unleashed energy, as if the world itself was responding to the duel of titans being waged on its surface. The skies darkened even more, as if the universe itself was holding its breath at the magnificence and terror of that epic contest. In those moments of crisis, the Z Warriors' determination grew even stronger, fueled by the urgency to protect what they loved and to face any adversity with courage and conviction. It was a reminder that during chaos and destruction, the human spirit could shine with an unshakable light. Piccolo, with his strategic mind sharper as a razor, watched every move with meticulous attention. Every gesture, every spark of unleashed energy carried with it the promise of a decisive change during the battle. His intense and serene gaze concealed a precise calculation as he searched for the perfect opportunity to intervene in support of his disciple. Piccolo, with his gaze lost on the horizon as he pondered the situation deeply, added in a calm but determined voice,
Gohan is channeling an incredible power right now.
If we manage to amplify their energy and coordinate a joint attack, we could tip the scales in our favor and find the opportunity we need to change the course of this battle. His mind worked like a meticulous clock, evaluating possibilities and strategies during the chaos that was unleashed in front of him. Meanwhile, at the epicenter of the conflict, Gohan and Takagami continued their titanic duel, each determined to impose their will and determination on the other. Gohan's transformation into Super Saiyan Stage 3 not only gave him enormous strength, but also imposed a demanding tribute in terms of energy and physical endurance. Gohan, his breathing agitated by the effort and intensity of the moment, expressed with determination in his voice between short breaths,
His power! It's overwhelming! But I must stand firm! I can't fail!
Every word resonated with an unwavering commitment as he prepared to face the ordeal ahead of her, his aura glowing with a mixture of exhaustion and relentless resolve. His spirit stood like a burning flame during the storm, braving adversities with a determination that sprang from the core of his being. On the other hand, Takagami, with his arrogant smile and calculated movements, responded to every attack of Gohan with an inordinate confidence in his own dexterity and power. Takagami, with a voice imbued with superiority and a tone that denoted his absolute confidence in his words, defiantly replied,
Admiral, but naive. Your determination's remarkable, Gohan, but you must understand that no force in this universe can change your destiny.
His voice resonated with an assurance that seemed to defy all opposition, marking a gap between confidence in his power and Gohan's will. His self-assurance was impenetrable as the toughest steel, a psychological barrier that defied even the storms of energy roaring around him. The confrontation was coming to a head as the Z Warriors, with a mixture of worry and palpable hope in their hearts, prepared to intervene at the precise moment that could change the course of the battle. Vegeta, with his intense and analytical gaze, watched every flash of power unleashed by Gohan with a mixture of admiration and concern in his eyes. Vegeta, with his analytical and sharp mind, was muttering to himself in a barely audible tone due to the palpable tension in the air.
Gohan's unleashing an incredible power.
His words were a whisper, charged with respect and concern, acknowledging the magnitude of the power that Gohan was unleashing at that critical moment.
But he must maintain control if he wants to survive this,
he added with a seriousness that reflected his experience in past battles and his understanding of the dangers of losing control over so much unleashed energy. Goku, the legendary warrior who knows the limits and beyond, nodded solemnly at Vegeta's words. Goku, with a calmness that radiated experience and wisdom, recognized with respect in his voice,
We know what it's like to fight at the limit, but Gohan's showing exceptional courage that inspires us all.
His words resonated with the depth of one who has faced countless challenges, understanding the nature of struggle and the sacrifice it entails. With admiration palpable in his tone, recognizing the courage and determination of his son during adversity, his voice, serene but full of respect, reflected the confidence in Gohan's potential to overcome any obstacle. Meanwhile, the energy flowing through Gohan was reaching its peak, manifesting itself in an impressive visual spectacle. Its golden aura radiated an intense light that illuminated the surrounding space, making even the distant stars seem to pale in comparison. Gohan, with a roar full of determination that echoed throughout the battlefield, exclaimed with fervor, addressed to his father and Vegeta,
Father! Vegeta! All of you! This power is to protect you all!
His voice carried with an emotional charge of his commitment to the protection of his loved ones, a promise that manifested itself in every flash of his glowing aura, and in every blow aimed at the darkness that threatened his world. His voice, echoing like an echo of hope amid the chaos of battle, his energy, instead of just being destructive, became a beacon of hope for his allies, instilling strength and determination in their hearts. The buildup of energy finally reached its peak when Gohan unleashed a combined attack so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space. The surprise on Takagami's face was palpable, reflecting the magnitude of the force unleashed by the young Saiyan.
Impossible! I can't believe the magnitude of your strength, Gohan! You've unweakened a power that defies all my expectations and strategies so far, but you haven't witnessed everything I can do yet.
My abilities are not limited to what you've witnessed so far, and I still have cards to play in this game. Get ready to find out that I'm not as easy an opponent to defeat. The true essence of my power is about to be revealed, and I assure you that it'll surprise you. The battle has only just begun, young Saiyan. The resulting explosion temporarily blinded everyone present, enveloping the battlefield in a dazzling light that eclipsed even the brightest stars in the firmament. As the luminescence slowly faded away, it revealed an impressive but also disturbing scene. Gohan, still in his Super Saiyan Stage 3 form, was still standing, his figure slender but visibly exhausted at the limit of his strength.
Was that enough?
He was panting between short breaths, his eyes reflecting a determination that defied the fatigue that overwhelmed him. But Takagami emerged from the rubble with a defiant smile on his face, was making it clear that the battle was far from over. You're barely scratching the surface, Gohan. Your power is awesome, but you can't beat the darkness that is hanging over you. Your determination's commendable, but the real battle is beyond what you can imagine. My shadows are deeper, and my power is vaster than you think. Get ready to face the true essence of the dark power. Gohan's energy was fluctuating, a clear sign that his transformation was reaching its limit. The Z Warriors watched with anxiety and determination as the battle reached a critical point. Victory seemed elusive, but their fighting spirit remained unwavering in the darkness that threatened to devour them all.
No! I can't give up this power! It's to protect everyone! To my family! To the Earth!
Each word came out between agitated breaths, but charged with an unwavering determination, revealing the deep sense of responsibility and love that drove their struggle. His voice, though weakened by the effort, resounded with a firmness that defined the adversities he faced. Oh, what a pathetic nobility! Do you think you can fight my darkness with simple desires for protection? Your strength is impressive, but your naivety condemns you. Don't you understand that in this world, nobility and desires for protection are as fragile as glass in front of the tide? No matter how much power you possess, the darkness will always find a crack through which to infiltrate and corrupt everything you value. It's only a matter of time before you realize the futility of your efforts, Gohan. Gohan, his aura flickering, braced himself for another assault, feeling every fiber of his being burning with determination. However, the accumulated fatigue and the marked wounds on his skin were beginning to take their toll, weighing like chains on his struggle. Every move was a battle against exhaustion and pain, a test of endurance that tested his courage and perseverance. The vision of Takagami, his implacable enemy, distorted slightly before his fatigued eyes, reflecting not only the tumult of the physical battle, but also the dark and twisted connection Takagami maintained with the source of power that fed him. This connection, like a cursed bond, gave Takagami a ruthless strength, but also dragged him into the maelstrom of corruption and out of control. During the fray, Gohan found himself facing not only a formidable opponent, but also the shadow of an evil influence that threatened to consume everything. Every blow thrown and blocked resonated with the intensity of an epic battle between light and darkness, between the determination of a hero and the seduction of a dark and forbidden power. Despite the adversities and uncertainty that surrounded him, Gohan clung to hope like the beacon in a storm, remembering the bonds of friendship and love that drove him to move forward. Every beat of his heart resonated with the will to protect what he valued most in the world, facing the challenge with courage and sacrifice, knowing that true strength lay in his indomitable spirit and in his determination to never give up in the face of the darkness that threatened his world and soul. Gohan, don't wear yourself out too much. Stay focused and in control. Remember, that true strength lies not only in raw power, but in the ability to stay calm and think strategically amid chaos. Do not underestimate your opponent, and do not get carried away by blind rage. That determination must be backed by intelligence and control. Make every hit count, and don't get distracted from your goal. His words, full of advice and warnings, sought to remind Gohan of the importance of the mind in battle, in addition to physical strength.
The Super Saiyan Phase 3 form consumes a lot of energy. Gohan needs to find a balance between his power and his stamina. He must learn to control the flow of his ki to maintain his strength without exhausting himself quickly. The key is efficiency. Every movement must be precisely calculated and executed to maximize the impact without wasting energy. It's a challenge to master this state, but if Gohan manages to find that harmony, his potential will be truly formidable.
His words, full of experience and knowledge, sought to guide Gohan towards a better understanding of how to use his power without compromising his endurance in battle. As Gohan and Takagami continued their confrontation, Goku's eyes, a symbol of hope for everyone, shone with determination during the intense strife. His strategic mind was working at full speed, analyzing every move of his son and enemies to find the perfect crack in Takagami's defense. Every glimmer in his gaze reflects years of training, epic battles, and an unwavering desire to protect those he loved. In the distance, Vegeta stood in a fighting position, his Saiyan pride burning like an unstoppable flame. His defiant aura and combat experience combined into a formidable force, ready to unleash his power at the precise moment. Piccolo, with his calculated serenity, was watching the battle with sharp eyes, ready to strategically intervene and balance the scales in favor of his comrades. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, were in the middle of the recovery process after the intense confrontation against Takagami. Despite their damage received, his determination did not waver. Both focused on channeling their ki with precision, taking advantage of every breath to restore their energies and strengthen their bodies. Goten, with his indomitable spirit and his face marked with determination, closed his eyes with concentration as he felt the flow of vital energy revitalize his fatigued muscles. "We have to be ready to return to the battle at any moment," he thought to himself, remembering the responsibility he shared with his friend Trunks to protect his family and his home. On the other hand, Trunks, with his mind focused and his ki shining with renewed intensity, was striving to reach an optimal state of recovery. "We can't afford to let our guard down," he reflected, aware of the challenges they still faced and the need to be prepared to face any adversity that stood in their way. Both young warriors knew that the battle was not over yet. With determination in their hearts and their ki channeling with precision, they were preparing for the next chapter in their fight for the protection of their world. "Gohan's giving his best. His strength and determination are impressive, but we need to find an opening to channel more energy towards him and empower his power to the fullest. We must all join forces and find a way to support him in this crucial battle. Our connection as a family and as a team is our greatest strength. Let's make every hit and every effort count to protect our home and those we love." His words, full of determination and hope, reflected his confidence in the team's ability to overcome any challenge when working together.
Your resistance is admirable, but useless. My power is absolute. No matter how much they fight, they won't be able to stop me. My strength is unshakable, and my determination relentless. There is no escape from my dominion. It's time for you to give up and accept your fate under my control.
Every word was loaded with arrogance and certainty as Takagami continued to unleash his dark power with ruthless ferocity. Gohan, with a superhuman effort, managed to deflect Takagami's attacks and counterattacked with a burst of brilliant energy. The collision of powers created a shockwave that shook the nearby atmosphere.
"I will not allow you to destroy what I love! My bonds and my strength are greater than any darkness you could throw! I'm ready to face any challenge and overcome any obstacle to ensure a secure future for everyone! There will be no place for destruction in my world!"
Your emotions make you weak, Gohan. The real strength lies in the darkness. Your love and your bonds are chains that prevent you from reaching your true potential. Don't you see that the darkness offers unlimited and unrestricted power? Abandon your illusions of grandeur, young Saiyan. Face the truth that only darkness can bring you true strength and absolute dominion over the world.
Every word was imbued with an icy arrogance and a fanatical belief in the corrupting power of darkness. Takagami sought to sow doubts and weakness in Gohan's mind, challenging his conception of strength and courage. The struggle became more intense with each pressing moment. Gohan, despite showing obvious exhaustion with every short breath, remained firm and undetermined. refusing to back down from the challenge Takagami posed. His eyes reflected an unwavering determination as he faced the malevolent machinations of his enemy. However, Takagami's evil cunning was revealed in all its magnitude when he began to manipulate the environment around him with dark mastery. The dark creatures had summoned with his sinister magic were already at the edge of the surface, ready to emerge and join the battle with uncontrollable ferocity. The air was charged with an ominous presence as the shadows of those creatures danced unexpectedly, eager to join the conflict and show their destructive power. Faced with the imminent threat, the Z Warriors did not hesitate to prepare to face these creatures that represented an unknown but tangible danger. Vegeta, with his characteristic defiant tone, exclaimed as he adjusted his combat posture, "I'll not allow those abominations to ruin our path to victory. It's time to show them the true power of a Saiyan." Piccolo, the group's calm strategist, quickly assessed the situation and proposed a plan of action.
We're facing a cunning enemy who uses manipulation as a weapon. We must act with coordination and precision. Gohan, you now take care of containing the creatures. Vegeta, Goku, keep the pressure on Takagami and don't let him breathe easy.
Goku, with a determined smile on his face, nodded energetically.
We have it, Piccolo. I'm confident that together we can overcome any challenge that comes our way. We're going to give our best.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, who were always looking to prove their bravery, exchanged a look of complacency before joining the plan.
Yes, let's show these monsters what it means to be a real team.
Determination shone in the eyes of each Z warrior as they prepared for the upcoming showdown, their hearts resonating with the memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos's courageous sacrifice. Those moments of heroism and camaraderie resonated like an echo in their souls, reminding them of the price they sometimes had to pay to protect the world they loved. Goku, with a silent bow to his fallen friends, took a moment to remember his valuable lessons of courage and determination.
Our friend showed us that even in the darkest moments, we can find the strength to face any challenge. His sacrifice will not be in vain as long as we keep fighting and keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts. Every blow we take, every obstacle we face is proof of our determination and our commitment to a better future. We'll not let his sacrifice be forgotten. Let's keep fighting with all our heart and spirit.
Vegeta, with an intense gaze fixed on the horizon, added solemnly,
Every battle teaches us something new. We must honor his memory by overcoming our limits, protecting this world, not only for ourselves, but for those who are no longer there.
Piccolo, the serene strategist, reflected on the importance of learning from each experience.
Every battle, every loss, strengthens us and teaches us to be better warriors. Let's move forward with determination and wisdom.
Goten and Trunks, the young warriors, full of energy and competitive spirit, exchanged a look of respect towards the heroes of the past.
We're going to make their bravery and sacrifice worthwhile. We'll fight with everything we have.
The memory of Ten Shinhan and Chaos became a flame that fanned the determination and fighting spirit of the Z Warriors. With their hearts united in a common purpose, they prepared to face the next challenge with the strength of those who came before them, ready to write the next chapter in the history of defending the Earth against the forces of evil. The battle reached unprecedented levels of intensity, with every move unleashing a wave of energy that shook the battlefield. Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, led the charge against the emerging shadows, channeling his ki into powerful explosions that dispelled the creatures one after another. Every flash of light harbored the determination to protect their loved ones and their home from the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Mr. Piccolo, behind you! Watch your back! The enemy's trying to surprise us with sneak attacks! We can't afford to let our guard down for 1 second in this battle! Our togetherness is our greatest strength, and together we'll overcome any challenge that comes our way! I trust in your strategic wisdom, Mr. Piccolo, but I'm also here to support you in every move! Let's move forward with determination and protect what we value with all our might!
Piccolo responded quickly, deflecting the attack with an energy shield.
Thank you, Gohan. Your quick alertness and attention to detail are crucial in this battle. Our coordination and communication are what will keep us one step ahead in the face of our enemies. Let's keep working together. Every move counts in this matchup.
By his side, Piccolo displayed his tactical ingenuity with mastery, drawing lines of defense and counterattack with pinpoint accuracy. His strategies were like chess moves on the battlefield, anticipating the enemy's moves and coordinating attacks to maximize the impact. Between them, an almost perfect synchronicity is woven, where Gohan's brute force found balance at Piccolo's strategic cunning.
Vegeta, get ready for our combined attack! We can't hold any back anymore. It's time to deploy all our power and show them what we're capable of. Together, we're unstoppable, Vegeta! Let's prove once again why we're the most powerful Z warriors in the universe! Let's go!
You don't need to tell me, Kakaroto. I'm always ready for the combat. Our combined power will overcome any obstacle that stands in our way. Get ready to witness the true strength of the Saiyan race. Let's go! Every clash of powers, every rumble of explosions resounded like a chant of resistance, bravery during chaos. The bounds of camaraderie and trust between the Z warriors were strengthened by adversity, reminding them that together they were more than the sum of their individual abilities. In this ballet of strength and strategy, where each movement had the weight of survival and the hope of a future in which light would prevail over shadows. Vegeta and Goku, in their eternal friendly rivalry forged in countless battles, coordinated their attacks with an almost telepathic synchronization. Like two warriors who share a unique and deep bond, their fiery determination was reflected in every move, every punch, and every burst of energy they threw at their formidable opponent, Takagami.
Goku, it's time to unite our powers to take down this guy once and for all. We'll not allow it to continue sowing chaos and destruction. Our combined strength will be their undoing. Take this, Takagami! This is the end that awaits you for challenging the Z Warriors.
I'm with you, Vegeta. There's no turning back now. Together, we'll put an end to this threat once and for all. Let's get him!
The latter, a formidable adversary in his own right, was forced to quickly divert his attention between dodging the quick and precise strikes of the Saiyans and dealing with the strategic cunning of Gohan and the tactical prowess of Piccolo.
Don't underestimate my powers, Saiyans. My abilities go beyond what you can imagine. Your determination's admirable, but it won't be enough to stop me. Get ready to know the true darkness that resides in this universe.
The frantic dance of attacks and defenses between the protagonists became a ballet of opposing forces, where speed and power merged into an unparalleled combat choreography. Each shock of energy unleashed explosions of ki that lit up the sky like shooting stars on a stormy night, painting the firmament with flashes of power and determination. The battlefield was transformed into an epic scenario where the fates of the combatants were intertwined in a cosmic drama of legendary proportions.
Gohan, now's your time to shine. Use this opportunity to show your true power and determination. We're all counting on you to turn the tide of this battle. Don't hold back. Give your best and make every hit count. The fate of everyone depends on your courage and strength in this crucial moment.
Come on, Dad! Mr. Piccolo! We won't stop until we beat you! Our determination's stronger than ever, and together, we're unstoppable! This is our moment to show that together, we can overcome any obstacle! Let's trust in our bonds, and fight with everything we have!
Meanwhile, Gohan's relentless determination and Piccolo's tactical wisdom added layers of complexity to the conflict, consistently challenging Takagami's strategies and moves. The intensity of the confrontation reached its peak, and with each hero and villain deploying their maximum potential in search of victory. Amid the chaos of battle, friendship and honor and inner strength shone as beacons of hope in a universe fraught with unfathomable challenges and dangers. Goten and Trunks, following the meticulous plan laid out by Piccolo to the latter, demonstrated a perfect synchronization that bordered on the supernatural. As young Saiyan warriors, their connection was more than a simple strategic alliance. It was the manifestation of a deep and lasting friendship, forged in countless shared trainings and battles. Every movement, every gesture, flowed between them in an innate harmony that only the strongest bonds could sustain.
Goten, your task is to maintain the defensive perimeter. Don't let anything surprise us from behind. Trunks, look for any opportunity to counterattack. We need to take advantage of every gap in their defense to turn the tide in this battle.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll be attentive and make sure that nothing takes us by surprise.
Following Piccolo's instructions, Goten unleashed bursts of energy with the dexterity and speed typical of the Saiyan lineage.
Come on, Trunks, let's keep the pressure on. Let's not give up and take every opportunity to move forward.
His attacks were precise and forceful, outlining a defensive perimeter around the group with an intensity that left his opponents breathless. Meanwhile, Trunks, a skilled wielder of the energy sword, executed precise and elegant cuts that perfectly complemented Goten's strategic defense.
Don't let any of them through, Goten. Keep our fronts safe while we look for weaknesses in their formation. Let's keep pushing.
Each movement drew lines of glowing energy in the air, creating a dynamic and effective wall of protection that neutralized any threat that dared to get too close to their companions. The combination of Goten and Trunks' skills not only demonstrated their individual mastery, but also their ability to work in a team in a fluid and coordinated way. Their actions were not only the result of practice and training, but also of a deep mutual understanding that allowed them to anticipate each other's movements with pinpoint accuracy. On the battlefield, the symbiosis was their greatest strength, making them an unstoppable force that courageously and determinedly defended those considered their family and home. The battle that was being fought was a whirlwind of energy and strategy, where every move had a deep meaning, and every decision impacted on the future of the contest. Goten and Trunks, the young Saiyan warriors, showed amazing coordination as they threw themselves into combat with a mixture of bravery and dexterity. His movements were like a martial dance, fluid and precise, designed to unbalance the dark creatures summoned by Takagami.
Trunks, to your right! Understood.
The voices of the young people echoed among the booms of explosions and the clash of powers. Each exchange of blows was a symphony of ki, a manifestation of the determination not to give ground in the face of the darkness that threatened to engulf them. Meanwhile, Gohan, with his indomitable spirit, deployed his ki in explosions of controlled energy, creating glowing spheres that exploded with force on impact against the shadows that rushed over them.
We can't give up! Our world depends on this! Every strike, every strategy, everything counts in this crucial battle! Let's keep fighting until the end!
His voice resonated with conviction, injecting courage into his companions. Piccolo, the calm but ruthless strategist, extended his arms with authority, generating defensive barriers that protected the group from surprise attacks. His eyes observed the battlefield with a calculated calm, evaluating every movement of the enemy to find the precise moment to counterattack. Keep the pressure constant. We cannot allow them to make up ground. Every breakthrough we make is crucial to maintaining our advantage. Keep attacking relentlessly. The sound of energy crashes and explosions was deafening, but during the chaos, the group's determination and unity shone like beacons of hope in the darkest night. Each of the Z warriors knew that they were not only fighting for their lives, but for the future of their home and the generations to come. Every attack, every block, was another step towards victory or defeat, and they were not willing to give in to adversity. Amid the furious fray, every strategic move and every technique deployed by the Z Warriors reflected years of training and experience, as well as a bond of trust and camaraderie that strengthened them in the most difficult moments. The coordination between them was a show of synchronization and dexterity, a chaotic but harmonious dance of attacks and defenses that kept at bay the dark forces that tried to dominate them. However, it was at a crucial moment, when hope seemed to be faltering in the face of Takagami's relentless persistence, that Goku and Vegeta, the legendary Saiyans whose power transcended known limits, demonstrated once again why they were revered as the most powerful warriors in the universe. With millimetric synchronization that only they could achieve after years of training in epic battles, they unleashed a devastating combined attack that shattered Takagami's defenses, leaving them exposed and vulnerable in the face of the final counterattack of the brave defenders of the Earth. The impact of their combined energy resounded on the battlefield like divine thunder, shaking reality itself with its overwhelming power. The energy blasts and shockwaves spread out like a gale, sweeping away any obstacles in their way and marking a decisive turn in the confrontation. The hearts of the Z Warriors swelled with renewed hope as they witnessed the result of the bravery and determination embodied in Goku and Vegeta, who were not only allies but also rivals who raised each other to new heights of power and dexterity. This epic moment not only symbolized the brute strength of the legendary Saiyans, but also the depth of their connection as battle companions and friends. Her self-sacrifice and dedication to protecting her home and loved ones shone with an intensity that defied the shadows of despair. With Takagami vulnerable before them, Earth's heroes prepared for the final assault, determined to put an end to the dark threat looming over their world and restore the lost peace. As this crucial opportunity approached, Gohan and Piccolo, two warriors whose togetherness goes beyond simple camaraderie, combined their powers with synchronization and understanding that only the closest battle partners could achieve. With relentless determination and a strategic focus sharp as the edge of a sword, they faced the creatures summoned by Takagami, with a bravery that inspired everyone present on the battlefield.
Mr. Piccolo, keep the rear guard. I'm going to the front. It is crucial to maintain our formation and protect our backs as we move forward towards the main battle. I trust you to keep us safe from behind.
Understood, Gohan. Don't let your guard down. Our coordination is key for being victorious. Stay alert and move forward with determination. Together we'll overcome this challenge.
Gohan's energy, bright and powerful as the sun as it peaks, was intertwined with Piccolo's tactical cunning and dexterity, creating a symphony of power and skill that defied expectations. Each coordinated movement between them was a masterful combined dance, where offensive and defense intertwined in a lethal harmony. The creatures summoned by Takagami, who once posed a formidable threat, now found themselves at a disadvantage in the face of the unbreakable union of these two exceptional warriors. The battlefield lit up with flashes of brilliant energy as Gohan and Piccolo unleashed their full potential, overcoming every obstacle with steely determination and calculated strategies. The trust between them was palpable, a connection that transcended words and manifested itself in every punch and every block. With each enemy defeated, their path to Takagami cleared, bringing them closer and closer to the final victory they sought to protect their world and their loved ones.
Gohan, you need to buy time. I will prepare my best attack to defeat these creatures. I trust you can keep them busy while I get ready. Together, we can change the course of this battle.
Mr. Piccolo, I'll do my best to buy time. My goal is to keep these creatures at bay as long as possible so I can prepare their attack. Trust me, I won't let you down.
The moment of truth was approaching, and Gohan was advancing with a firm step, while Piccolo prepared his best attack to defeat these creatures summoned by Bahamut's disciple and put an end to the darkness that had threatened his home. His fiery determination was a beacon of hope for those who witnessed his courageous struggle, reminding them that strength lies in the unity and indomitable spirit of those who fight for justice and peace. The critical moment came when every move decided the fate of the battle. Gohan, in a last effort, took his final form. With his bright and determined aura, advanced to the front of the battle line, facing the dark creatures with a mixture of bravery and strategy, as he blocked the onslaughts of the shadows with his dazzling ki. The creatures summoned by Takagami were not easy rivals to beat, but Gohan in his ultimate form took a lot of confidence and began to face the creatures they are facing. Gohan knew that keeping the creatures at bay was crucial to allowing Piccolo to unleash his full power. While Gohan struggled to contain the shadows with his fast movements and powerful attacks, Piccolo concentrated his energy preparing for the most powerful technique. The tension on the battlefield was palpable, but there was no room for doubt. Confidence in their abilities and in their partner was the key to facing the darkness that threatened to consume them.
Gohan, keep it up. You're demonstrating exceptional courage and impressive mastery on the battlefield. Every movement of yours is a barrier that prevents the advancement of these creatures. It's crucial that you hold this firmness for a few more moments while I finalize the preparations for my final ultimate technique. I have full confidence in your abilities and determination. Remember that our teamwork is the key to overcoming any challenge. Keep the pressure on and don't let your guard down. Together, we can turn the tide of this battle and protect our loved ones.
Understood, Mr. Piccolo. I'll not allow them to advance a single step further. You can trust me. I'm fully prepared to take on this responsibility and keep these creatures at bay. Together, we can overcome this and protect our loved ones. My determination's unwavering, and I'll not back down in the face of this challenge, because I know that every stroke, I stop here is a step towards victory. Our teamwork and mutual trust will give us the strength to prevail in this battle. Let's show them what we're capable of and write our own destiny in this struggle.
The scene unfolds with increasing intensity as Gohan definitively plunges into the maelstrom of combat. His determination is reflected in every gesture, and every tense muscle, and in every flash of energy that emanates from his being. The creatures summoned by Takagami's nightmarish creatures with twisted shapes and burning eyes fiercely advance towards Gohan, seeking to overwhelm him with their numbers and their uncontrolled fury. Gohan, however, is not daunted. His ki shines around him like an aura of power, marking every movement with a clear purpose. When the first creature lunges with sharp claws, Gohan responds with a precise block, channeling his energy to stop the attack with a glowing barrier. The resulting impact makes the ground tremble under his feet, but Gohan remains steadfast, his eyes fixed on his opponent. Each subsequent blow is an exhibition of martial skill and ki control. Gohan moves with grace and speed, dodging the onslaughts of creatures with fluid movements, and countering with calculated blows. His fists and legs turn into bursts of energy, hitting the enemies with force and precision. Each impact causes bursts of energy that light up the battlefield, drawing bright arcs in the air and kicking up swirls of dust around them. The creatures do not retreat easily. Their resistance is stubborn, and their thirst for destruction is insatiable. Gohan is forced to deploy more advanced techniques, combining his speed and strength with concentrated energy attacks. Ki waves cut through the air as Gohan releases bursts of controlled energy, seeking to weaken his opponents and open gaps in their defenses. Every block, every dodge, is a dance of anticipation and reaction. Gohan relies on his training and his intellect, reading the movements of the creatures, responding with precise movements. Your connection to your spiritual energy is evident in every movement, every pulse of energy emanating from your being. Meanwhile, Piccolo completes the charge of his definitive technique, his absolute concentration palpable in the air. The sound of his pent-up energy resonates on the battlefield, adding a layer of palpable tension to the charged atmosphere of battle. Gohan feels Piccolo's accumulated power as a beacon of hope and a call to redouble his efforts.
This is our chance, Gohan. Keep the pressure on them, and don't give them any respite. Every move of yours is crucial right now, as we are close to changing the course of this battle. I trust in your ability to keep them at bay, while we prepare our counterattack. Keep your determination, and keep going. Together, we can make it happen.
Gohan nods with determination as he prepares for the next attack. The combat dance between Gohan and the creatures reach its climax when Gohan, with a graceful twist, unleashes a series of energy blasts that cut through the enemy ranks. The creatures recoil momentarily, their twisted forms showing signs of weakness for the first time.
Goten! Trunks! I need you to be alert! Mr. Piccolo is preparing a powerful attack! Move quickly and maintain your defenses! Our coordination is crucial at this critical moment of the battle. We can't afford to make mistakes now. I'm confident in your ability to respond quickly and effectively. Stay focused and keep fighting with determination. Come on, we can still turn the tide of this battle in our favor.
The moment came when Gohan, with a precise movement, opened a breach in the creature's defenses, allowing Piccolo to unleash his devastating attack. With a resounding scream, Piccolo releases his ultimate technique, a beam of concentrated energy that cuts through the sky like a fiery comet.
Makankasapo!
The pure energy swirls frantically around the lightning, forming a spiral of controlled energy that seems to dance in the air with calculated ferocity. The extreme concentration of energy causes a burst that radiates a dazzling radiance, as if the sun itself were transcending on the battlefield. The energy beam, with its incomparable power, transverses the enemy ranks with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing the creatures with an amazing efficiency that takes the breath away of those who witness its devastating impact. The initial explosion is only the prelude to the destruction that is unleashed. The torrent of concentrated energy envelops the creatures in a lethal embrace, eroding their forms with an overwhelming intensity. Each wave of energy emanating from the ray is like a chisel, carving out space itself, gradually disintegrating the creatures that meet its path with an inexorable inevitability. The show is both majestic and terrifying, with the energy displayed manifesting in vibrant colors that collide and intertwine in a chaotic dance. The controlled destruction leaves in its wake a trail of disintegration that seems to defy the very laws of physics, demonstrating the supreme power that resides in the hands of those who master the arts of combat and energy control. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the dark threat dissipating with each defeated creature. Gohan and Piccolo, breathing heavily, but with a satisfied smile, met in the center of the battlefield, knowing that their teamwork and determination had tipped the scales toward victory. Now, with the road to Takamagami clear, they were preparing for the final assault, confident that their union would return their greatest strength. The battlefield gradually quieted down, the echo of controlled destruction echoing through the air as the enemy creatures vanquished before the combined might of Gohan and Piccolo. The glow of the dissipated energy hinted at the near victory, marked by the determination and teamwork of the brave warriors Z, Gohan, and Piccolo, breathing heavily but with a smile of satisfaction on their faces, met in the center of the battlefield, exchanging looks of complicity that spoke of a bond forged in battle and camaraderie. Meanwhile, in another part of the battlefield, Goku and Vegeta were facing Takagami in an epic duel that defied the limits of known power. With their faces marked with determination and their eyes shining with a fierce intensity, the two legendary Saiyans demonstrated once again why they were considered the most powerful warriors in the universe. His movements were like a whirlwind of quick attacks and precise defenses, each strike resounding like thunder in the energy-charged air.
Vegeta, keep the pressure on! Let's finish this together!
Of course, Kakarot. I'm not gonna let this guy beat us.
The intensity of their confrontation filled the battlefield, making the ground shake with every energy shock. Takagami, although powerful, was in a challenging position in the face of the unstoppable combination of Goku and Vegeta.
I'll not underestimate your power, Saiyans. I recognize their bravery, but their determination will not be enough to stop me. My strength is unshakable. My power is unstoppable. Get ready to face the real darkness.